taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with it. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. Taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shots. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of the night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
All right. So since the last time we was here, you know, we had Lekecia Garland. I'm so happy to have her back here to finish up her story from trauma to triumph. Hello, Lekecia, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I don't know why my logo or picture's not showing up, but I'm going to show my face because my face is beat today, you guys. And
Go ahead.
See.
Well, go ahead, child. You know what? I'm about to give you the big spotlight. Hold on, let me change this background up and give you the big spot. Boom.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to be center. Okay. So y'all, I can't see without my glasses, so let me put my glasses back on. But yeah, my face is beat.
There we go.
I got it done for today. There, that's better.
There we go.
We got Gooch. Gooch said he want to be in the picture. Gucci think every time I'm on the phone is a distraction. So now he's like, okay, I'm going in for the rub. Papa, I'm on live. You got to go. No,
Trying to find one.
Watch out. Go. Thank you so much. So yeah, I beat my face, got my face
Yes.
beat, and yeah, so I'm
Oh,
feeling good.
I love the green. Green must be your favorite color, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, I love it. Green, green,
yeah,
neon. That's the color of money. Okay.
yeah. I have a round bed, and my bed is actually this color.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. Well, I see a lot of you like the your background is really creative too, like your pictures and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
You're a very colorful person in general. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I look at your pictures, I see a lot of color, and I'm sure that goes into your designs, which we're going to get into later on. But this is a story of trauma over triumph, like where you overcome a lot of trauma, and now you're triumphant. So let's get into your story. So last where we left off, you give us like a synopsis of what we spoke of before, leading up to where we are now. How about that?
Okay, so pretty much a
Did you
synopsis.
mean to cut? Did you mean to cut your camera off?
I'll be doing it on and off.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So, a synopsis of pretty much what we went through or went over and covered in the first interview was childhood incest and childhood trauma going all the way down, stemming from the bloodlines, and as well as suffering from abuse and the Cinderella effect from my step grandmother and my sisters, and as well as moving back into a house with a person that was the catalyst for me being touched at 2. And then also we covered what we're about to discuss about my ex Enoch, and just a synopsis on who Enoch is. If you ever had a special person in your life that you vibed with so well and meshed with so well that both of you have agreed that, you know, I really love being in your presence, and, I want to make sure that I stay in your life. So you make pacts with each other throughout life, and even to the point where you may even make a pact of, if we're not married by a certain time at this certain year, then we'll marry each other. So that's who Enoch was, or is, because he's not gone on to
Okay.
glory.
Okay, and so let's continue the story from where we left off at.
So where we left off at is we are in year, probably, let me see, 2006 or 2007. So we're in 2007, and Enoch drives trucks, and so I had gotten my heart broken by a cancer, and he is my everything. My God is my everything, but I'm just saying, as far as human wise, he was my friend, he was my lover, he was my best friend, he was someone that I can grind with, create with, fast and pray, and we were able to, create a beautiful life for our children, and ourselves and our family. And so this particular time, he invited his coworker over, and he was going to go to church with us. And so every Friday, it's already, we already, as a ritual, go shopping. So this particular Friday, we went shopping. He picked his nephew up, and his coworker was with us. Well, this particular Friday, that we were shopping, he kept like walking ahead of me, and I was getting irritated, and I felt abandoned, and those were issues that I needed to deal with, but I didn't identify that as abandonment. Well, I did identify it as abandonment, but like I was more so pissed, like it's 2 men and a young man, like I'm a woman by myself. Anybody knows, if you're just going anywhere, there's a potential chance that some danger can come to you if you're just walking around as a woman. And because I felt like that wasn't taken into consideration, I was a little irritated, but I brushed it off and went shopping, and we all had a good time. By the when we came home, I cooked dinner, and when I cooked dinner, Enoch was testifying about how God had changed me, because before, he was giving an example. Everybody in the house smoked cigarettes, so we used to have these heavy ashtrays, and when he would do something or say something slick out of his mouth, I would throw an ashtray at him. And so, his coworker was laughing. He was like, yeah, he had been through something similar, because he was actually going through a divorce. And that's why Enoch invited him to church, invited him into my home, so that he could see that even though you may be going through this divorce, you never know how God will bring you together, because me and Enoch has went through a lot, and God has brought us back together. And so, and then I testified how when me and Enoch was broken up, and separated, we end up marrying. He married his son's mother, and I married my ex-husband. And for 7 years, Enoch was in my dream every single day. And I don't know if you guys can imagine how that would be. You're laying next to your fiance, and then you're laying next to your husband, and every single day your lover, your best friend, your soulmate is in your dreams every day, to the point where I would think I would be hearing him grinding his teeth, and out of my mouth I would be in the middle of my sleep and be like nudging my husband, telling him to stop grinding his teeth, but I will be saying, Enoch, stop grinding your teeth, baby, roll over. And one day I caught myself, and I was like, oh, if my ex-husband ever heard me say that, like, it would be on and cracking, like, so
Right.
so the dreams started to slow down, and they stopped. And I told my best friend, I said, he's about to come. At this point, I was already separated from my husband. And so she called me the next day, and she said, girl, guess who just walked in here? I said, who? I was naming everybody except for him, because I didn't want to be molded. You know how they be like, got you, scratch your neck. So I didn't want to do that. So I was playing a little game, like, I'm naming all kind of other people. And she was like, girl, stop playing. So she made me wait 24 hours to call him, because she knew the hold that he had on me, and that I was willingly allowing him to have on me. And so I called him. And when I called him or whatever, he came over, and the young lady that he was with, that him and her end up having a fight, that we were having the polygamous relationship, Genesis, she moved around the corner from me. So actually, I guess I moved around the corner from her, because she was staying there first. So we had no contact with Enoch. We didn't know where Enoch was or anything. I just happened to go to the store around the corner from my house, and she was in the store.
So you and Enoch had a polygamous relationship at some point?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so so I saw her, and we were like, oh my gosh, and so I started to hang with her. But that, I didn't like that, because at that time I really started seeking God, and I started going to church, and we were doing things, to each other that we should not have been doing in God's eyes. And I didn't feel comfortable with that any longer, and so I stopped it.
So did you did you get saved or something like that at this point?
Yes, I got saved.
Was this when you were in the Jehovah's Witness church, or this was before?
I never was in a Jehovah's Witness church. I belonged to a Sabbath keeping church, which means that they worship like today is going to be going into Sabbath when the sun goes down, and then tomorrow is Sabbath until the sun goes down. So 24-hour time block is.
Was that like a Seventh-day Adventist or what?
The people from that church, a lot of them were Seventh-day Adventists, and the pastor made a new church because of all of the man-made rules in Seventh-day Adventists. So yes, that would be correct. But we did not consider ourselves Seventh-day Adventists. We considered ourselves 7-day Sabbath keepers, which just means we worship and follow and keep the Sabbath.
Okay, so you got into this religion, and but you at one point were not as religious. You were in a polygamous relationship.
I was raised Baptist. Yeah, I was raised Baptist. And the reason why I've always had my own relationship with God, and I've always kind of had to make my way, and I've seen things in church as everybody else does, and a lot of stuff is not right. You know, like the I will say this, going into the interview that we had previously when I was talking about the high roller guy, my pastor raced against this guy. He used to race with this guy, you know, and the other elderly man. And, you know, so it was a lot of stuff going on. So even though, yes, I was raised in these churches and stuff like that, the churches are not always right. You know, you got to develop your own relationship with God, because you can have a preacher or you can go to church and everybody in the church messing up. They claiming God, but you can see with your eyes what sister such and such is doing, what brother such and such is doing, who marriage is well, who marriage ain't, who hating on who,
what that's the biggest part of it. Everybody to mind their own goddamn business about what everybody was doing.
Exactly. So yeah, I went to this church because I almost off my husband at the time. And I started going to church because I didn't want to go to jail and I didn't want to be unalive, because
the girl was actually around the corner from you.
She was around the corner from me, and me and her were, like I said, hanging out. My ex-husband was like, what? Like, he couldn't even believe it. I was like, I know, that's the trip. Like, so then when Enoch came, it was like we just picked up where we left off. I cooked like a big old dinner. I cooked like neck bones, cornbread, greens. She cooked some stuff. And in my single apartment, it was me, my two boys, her two kids, because at the time she had two kids, and me and Enoch and her. And we all had family time like we always do. And we ate and we
wait. What happened to you and your husband?
My husband, I told you, we had separated.
So y'all just okay. So when he found out that you guys were living around the corner from each other, y'all just separated? How did that separate?
My ex-husband was trying to my ex-husband thought he was Pimp C and UGK and Project Pat. And I had to tell him real quick, like, for one, everybody is Enoch is everybody's nemesis. And I'll say it quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll go back to Enoch. I don't need you.
Oh wow.
With Enoch, kept woman, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do nothing but keep him happy. That's it.
So he has a lot of money, basically.
He makes a lot of money. He works hard just like I work hard with Capricorns. Okay. He'll have multiple jobs. There have been times when I just had my one son, and he used to work for all kind of places, and he would go to job, and me and my son would be in the car with them because he making money. We got food. Sometimes he'll do like a couple hours at a Taco Bell, then he'll do a couple hours at a club. And then I started getting into doing that as well. So then my son, who was a toddler, he would be at the house with the family, with Enoch's family, and I would go to work and do security. Then he started doing security for Master P and one of the radio stations out here too. So we always had money. Like we, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't, if a man wasn't treating me up to Enoch's standard, they already knew it wasn't flying. Because I didn't want for anything.
So you end up separating from your husband and going back to Enoch.
No, I didn't go back to Enoch. Enoch found me.
Well, it doesn't matter who found who. You ended up back with him. Basically,
we ended up being friends, and what ended up happening was, I did, start telling him like, hey, I'm not like that anymore. I'm not gonna be like having, this polygamous relationship with y'all. And he laughed in my face. He thought it was a joke. He did. He thought it was a joke. She was telling him, please do something, like eggplant her down, work your magic stick, do what you got to do. She won't even give me none. And they both thought that they was going to be able to turn me back to my old ways. Well, it turned out different. God touched his whole entire family plus him. And then something happened where I had called him and I wanted some money, and he got attitude, and he was like, I'm not your husband. And I was like, oh, word. So we stopped talking for like maybe a week. And then and then I tried to call him, and it was going to voicemail. And so I thought he had an attitude, right? And so now I'm leaving these messages like, oh, you got an attitude. And yeah, I got a husband, but you got a wife, because he hadn't separated. I mean, he hadn't gotten his divorce and I hadn't gotten my divorce. We were both just separated, right? And come to find out, what ended up happening was he almost lost his life. He drives trucks. He went on the road. He was in Illinois somewhere, or Chicago. I don't know if that's the same place. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was driving through. He saw a truck and he saw some guys. So he thought that the guys needed help with their truck, or a guy, because he just saw one guy. He said that he got out of his truck, because he was already getting ready to go, probably go get him something to eat or go to the truck stop to go to the bathroom or something. And so he said that he went to go help the guy, and come to find out, the guys, it was two guys, they were robbing this truck that they were at. But instead, since he trying to be a good Samaritan, they turned on him. He said the first guy, he had the first guy. He was giving him a run for his money, but then he didn't see the other guy come up behind him and hit him with something hard. They threw him in the ditch. They took off with his big rig instead of the other big rig.
Wow.
And left him for unaliving. And he woke up in a hospital out there. And when I called him again, he answered the phone. And I was like, oh, so we finally gonna act like we got some sense, huh? And then he told me the story, and I just broke down crying.
Right.
I broke down crying because I was thinking like, because the last conversation that we had, we was giving each other toot and blah blah blah. I had no idea that this man almost lost his life, you know what I'm saying, because of this. So after that, we got back.
Why do you say because of it? Because you guys got in an argument.
What do you mean?
Why you said that you think that him getting into that was
no,
because of
no, not at all. But I'm just saying, like,
that you guys are still
you gotta watch
mad.
Yeah, you gotta watch your words, like,
because you never know when the next time you're gonna see somebody, right?
Yeah, because we had that argument. I mean, it wasn't even an argument. It was just we was just giving each other attitude and words,
Right.
Like, because honestly, the reason why he said that to me, like, you got a husband, is because I wasn't giving him any. He was frustrated. He was actually frustrated, and he's so addicted to me that I just don't like when me. Like, I'll give you an example. I can't watch him and her get down. I can get down with both of them. I can get down with me and him. But when it comes to him and her, I've never been able to actually see that and sit through it. I can't. I love him too much. I cannot watch him do that with another woman. I can't. So
is he still with her?
No, he's married to a woman that looks exactly like me. And if you don't believe me, hold on for 1 second. I got a surprise for y'all. Just give me a second. Give me a moment. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, but no, he's married to a woman that looks just like me. And that's why I ended up creating a song. Because.
So what made you guys finally just break it off altogether?
He got an attitude because I wasn't giving him none. And he wanted all of me. And I told him that part is reserved for God. I gave him all of me and he didn't know what to do with it. So at this point, from this point on, since God has saved both of our lives, especially since
what made you feel like you had given all of him to you?
Hold on.
Oh, your screen. Okay, there we go.
Who that look like?
Wow, that's not you?
No, that's his wife that he's married to now.
Wow.
Wait. I don't even know.
Turn that way. Wow. I thought that was your picture. That's crazy.
No. This is his wife that he is married to. My doppelganger.
Your doppelganger.
She looks like we were born at the same time. Like my mother had her out of her hoo-ha. Don't she?
And he married this woman. Wow.
She is married to him right now. I know. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years. But yeah.
Wow.
I had to change up my whole style, yo. Once I saw my hair was this color when I found out that she looked like me. I went to the store. I went to the beauty supply. I said, wait a minute, let me see what color I'm finna go to now. Cause what? Cause what?
Right.
How, Sway?
Right.
How,
found a girlfriend look just like you with the hair and everything. That's spooky.
You can never replace me, boo boo. I told her
wait. Mel said.
I told him what she is doing.
Listen.
I did in 1993.
Listen, I wonder if you guys resemble his mother.
No, his mother was a little Hispanic lady, and she looked like a little Chinese lady. You know how in the Kung Fu movies, and they be having the Chinese ladies, and they know how to do the good Chinese, or they got them secrets and stuff, and you go to them. That's how his mother looked. He's Belizean and Latino.
Oh, okay, from Belize. Okay, so he's like a high yellow, super light skinned guy.
That's not even super light skinned, because he can be red like me. Like
when he met his wife, was he trying to get you guys to do a three-way?
No, I didn't even know nothing about that. When I had the Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl happened, I was in the desert. I was in Arizona, and I was missing him. I was missing my ex that passed away, and I can't get him back. He's gone. He is gone. And so, because I think I was talking to y'all about him, the one that helped me with the sketches and stuff in class. Mm-hmm. He's passed away. I told you, he passed away on the road with Tone Low. So he's gone. So those are my loves, men that I know that have loved me and cherished me and given me any and everything to the day one of them left this earth. So I told God, I said, I miss my best friend. I want my best friend back. And so I looked up his number and I called him. I called him from my friend's house.
Do you resent ever breaking it off with Enoch?
I don't resent nothing. I walked away from millions of dollars because let me tell you something. What you ain't finna do is play in my face.
Well, wait a minute. So, okay. Now, everybody knows that a guy with a lot of money and influence like that is going to have multiple women. They're going to have.
First of all, I've always been able to control anything, baby. So I don't care about them. What I care about was when you say you're going to do something, do it. Like it's always been done. If we had $2, $20, $200,000, $2, $5, $10. When you say you're gonna do something, you've been doing it, so stick to what you're doing. You
didn't care that he had multiple women. It's just that he wasn't.
No, he was following behind this cokehead. That's how he ended up getting the money. We prayed for the money. This is what happened. I took my older son to a skate park. Right, I take him to a skate park. I'm on the phone with Enoch. He sends me a text. And it was of these waterfalls. And I was like, oh my God, where is that? And he was like, either New Zealand or the Netherlands, one of them. And I was like, I want to go there. He was like, all right, give me some time and I'll take some time off and we'll go there. So I was like, okay, because we do for a vacation. I said, my goal is by I think by the end of that year or the year after, I wanted us to retire. I was like, so he was like, okay, we'll talk about it or whatever. Next week, 6 months after that, or in between that, as leading up to
sometime after that, it doesn't matter.
Right. He meets this young lady and he likes her. I don't care about that. Shoot, right. I want to see how she looks. I like her too.
Right. Is that really a part of dating guys with money? Is that you gotta kind of be open-minded?
I have my man. No, he got me a man that looked just like LL, and I couldn't.
So you guys both were almost like swingers, kind of you would have relationships and he would have relationships, and you guys were okay with it because you guys were cool together. Do you think relationships
knew it and everything? My mama was with me when he got that man that looked like LL.
Your mom was aware around.
My mom was with us at the mall, and I told Enoch, I said, "Oh my God, he is gorgeous." I was like, I want to know him.
Wait. So you're dating a guy, and the guy
we were friends. At that time, we were young. We were probably I met Enoch when I was 16. So at that time, I probably was maybe.
I'm talking about if you guys were dating and you saw a guy and you were like, "Oh, that guy is hot," or whatever, he would be like, "Okay, go." What?
I'm about
So,
to. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
what kind of a y'all are wild in California? It's something else going
First
on.
of all, let me tell you something. This
What's going
man,
on in California?
it's just the way that we are. It's just the way that we are. My ex-husband tried to be like that too, but he can't take it. He lightweight. He lightweight. And can't nobody do it like me and Enoch do it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, well, no, I'll take that back. My ex-husband has that same pact with his daughter's mom. So people make pacts with their significant others that they care about, and they end up, if I guess, I don't know.
If I meet somebody else or whatever, we still together. Like, but I might go out.
We gave each other space to have other relationships and stuff like that. That's why we made the pact. If we wasn't with anybody in 96, this was 93 when we made the pact at his friend's house. We had just got done swimming, and I was famished, hungry.
Right.
We were just talking about our lives, and he was like, "Hey, if we not married by 96 to other people or in our relationships, we should get married." I was like, "Hell yeah."
So you basically fast forward. So so the Enoch relationship is over. He gets a woman looks just like you. You run into this guy that's now your stalker.
Okay, no, we're not jumping over all of that. We're not jumping over all of that, Genesis. I'll walk you through it, but you done missed like a whole hell of a lot.
Okay.
You went from that to that, and there's a whole bunch in the middle.
Okay.
You done fast fooded what needed to be some soul food. That's what you just did.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, going back to the friend and the coworker. So, like I said, I'm telling him, testifying, Enoch's testifying or whatever. So at this particular time, I had like a little bucket or whatever when Enoch came off the road. But Enoch had bought a car, he had paid it off, but it was just sitting on the lot. And so we were getting ready to go to church. And he was trying to show out. Like, he just kept like acting a fool, and I just was not having it. Gooch, move, please. And so he was like, "I'll be back." He went and picked up his car. So we get in the car, getting ready to go to church. I'm trying to still keep the peace because it's a Sabbath, and I'm trying not to smoke no cigarette because he's already on my nerves where I want a cigarette. Like, I'm having a nicotine fit. And I want a cigarette, but I don't want to walk in church smelling like cigarettes, because anybody that don't smoke cigarettes, even if you wash your hands and all of that stuff, people that don't smoke cigarettes is still going to smell the scent on you. And I didn't want to do that coming into the house of the Lord. So we're getting ready to go, pull out the driveway, and I want to listen to this praise song so I can get my spirit ready. He won't listen to something else. We arguing over the radio. So I said, fuck it. You know what I'm finna do? You go on and drive your nice fancy car. I'm gonna drive my bucket. So I drive my bucket. I go to Compton to his sister's house, and I'm ranting and raving, and she's like, "What is going on?" I said, "I don't know what the fuck he doing." And she was like, "Just calm down. We, go wash your hands and all this stuff. I'll give you some perfume. We finna drive to church, because I told you his whole family had gotten saved. Where before his sister and his sister-in-law was picking on me and trying to bully me when I was, a fresh young mother, to now everybody is calm, cool, saved. I'm welcome back into the home, even better now, because they saw all that smearing that he was doing when we were broken up was a total lie. And not only that, they knew me from our relationship, and they saw the change of the Holy Spirit. They saw the change of God in me. So they had no choice but to bow down to the Holy Spirit and fall in line. So we go to church, and his coworker leaves or whatever, but his coworker joined the church too that day. So then like the following week, he was just acting weird. I was supposed to switch I was supposed to get insurance in his name with the insurance company that he had. And so because he was acting funny, I called the insurance company to make sure that the switch didn't go through. I get on the phone. I barely know these people. They said, Miss Garland, what did you do to Mr. Flowers? I said, what? Do you know Enoch told these people our whole life story and they don't even know us? From the polygamy to him busting me with my younger son's dad when I felt like I had no choice but to kind of hide that I was dealing with someone else at one point. Like, he told them everything. And I was like, he don't even know y'all. Why he telling y'all? I said, this is what I'm talking about. And he got an attitude because I asked him to clean his stuff up from his truck. His sister made him bring all his stuff that he had to her house. He was like, you're with Lekecia now. You're living over at Kesia's house. So you might as well take all your stuff from your truck and take it over there. And he did. And he was organizing it. But it was about to get dark and the Sabbath was coming. And I wanted my house to have an easy flow for the Holy Spirit, especially because he was acting like an F-boy. And I was like, I ain't feeling it. And I wasn't moved or touched because I'm in my own place now. I have my own independence. See, that's what he didn't like. Before, he was able to control me. When he said, you can't go, I couldn't go. When he said, do this or do that, I did it. But mainly, it was, no, you can't go here, or no, you can't go there. Or anytime I went anywhere, if I could go, he was with me.
So you were basically was in a somewhat controlling relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How long did this relationship last?
Our relationship lasted a total of 30 years.
30 years. And you guys never got married?
Nope. Every time we tried to get married, his family said no. Or when we tried to get married, something would happen. He would be oppressing me, and then I would feel like my self-esteem wasn't good, and I would do stupid stuff like, instead of me stacking my money to get out of there and get me in my own place, I would do stuff like get hotel rooms and fill them up with balloons. And I was trying to figure out, like, what did I do wrong? And it wasn't even nothing about me. It was, he had mommy issues. His family was pulling on him, and he wanted me to be his everything, and including give him
you skipped over you going to a hotel room and filling it up with balloons?
Huh?
You went to hotels up and filled up hotel rooms?
You know, when you want to do something nice for your boo, you'll get a room.
Oh, okay.
I'm
like,
dress nice, and you have your little time away from everybody, away from the kids, away from the family, because we are family oriented. Mm-hmm. So even when we stayed in the house, when I stayed in the house with him, it was his family.
Right.
His father, his brothers, his brother girlfriend, and then of course all the siblings. Even though they're married, they're still coming through every day.
Right. So okay. So that was a 30-year relationship.
Right. So anyway, so because of that, he left. When he left, he went back to Vegas because that's where his son is. And so he went back to Vegas because when we separated, before me and him got married to our prospective spouses, we were both in Long Beach. We were both living in Long Beach, but I got evicted because I was mishandling my money, and I was kind of going crazy because he was sending me through stuff. The girl got pregnant. I've never been pregnant by him before, so that was kind of like a kick in the throat. But my grandmother had already told me, like, God is going to bless him with a child. Enoch has never had any children. He always chose young ladies that had kids and took care of them very well, but he never had a child of his own. So that was also a contingent thing with us because he couldn't pass McCoy off for his anymore because McCoy's hair was starting to curl. It was bushy, like a big old afro, but tight curls. So, he couldn't. Enoch's hair is very long and it's wavy. That's how McCoy's was when he was in an incubator, when he was in hospital. But once McCoy came home, he even said, they don't even look like the same baby. And then I think his fantasy of, okay, I'm gonna have my family, even though James is darker, we love James, and I know he loved James. He never treated James any different, but I'm just saying, like, in his eyes, the aesthetic, because I think probably also the perception, because you heard what I just said. We were together for a total of 30 years. So if we're together this long and we tell people, okay, we've been together this long, they're going to want to know, or is this your child? Okay, no, that's not your child. Okay, is this your child then? No, that's not your child. Then I think he was probably thinking on that aspect of what people thought, instead of what the hell was real in our reality and what we made our reality. Like, how you gonna be tripping on what somebody else thought when we created our own reality?
So here's the question. How much has this relationship affected your life?
Oh, a great deal. Like when I started going back to school, he would be right there along with me in my shoe class, helping me make my purchases in my shoes. I would drive him to work, pick him back up after class, and this is what we do, have family time with my family, his family, and raise our kids. His son came from Vegas, and we have family time, and we raised our children. So it has greatly affected me. I mean, you see how not only is it affected me, it's affected him. He is married to a woman that looks like me.
Right.
So for me, at first, I was crushed. I'm not gonna lie, I was crushed because, like I said, when he showed me those pictures of the waterfalls, he was like, "Okay, give me some time. We're gonna go there." Now, this is not the first time that we were supposed to take a trip, just he and I, so we can plan out the rest of our lives. That it didn't go according to plan. I wanted to go to Jamaica. This would have been the first time that I ever went to Jamaica, and I wanted to experience it with him. So I was like, let's go to Jamaica. He was like, okay. Then he told his sister, and his sister and her husband were already going. So it turned into a big old family thing. And what his sister wanted, the middle sister wanted, in compares to what I said I wanted, what I was requesting, and what we were going to be doing for us and ourselves to plan out the remainder of our lives so that we can retire.
Mm-hmm.
And so
how old were you when this relationship ended?
I was 37, 38.
And how old are you now?
49.
Wow. So that relationship over 10 years ago still affects you to this day.
Yeah, because not only that, like I'm very close. I was very close to his family. Like even when we weren't together before he got married, I was help raising his niece. Like before I went to Jamaica, I was at his sister's house. His sister was at my house every day. I was literally, when he wasn't even talking to his family, I was still heavily involved in his family. Before, when I went to Jamaica, and then even that ex that I said he helped me get over, I ended up getting pregnant by that ex. And ironically enough, when we lived in Compton, that ex stayed on the next block. So I didn't even know. And I was laughing when I was posting stuff on YouTube the other day, and I was like, damn, how would that have went? Because, there's two strong personalities. I guarantee they know each other. And it was crazy. Even when Enoch had moved in and came off the road, he started dressing like that guy. And I was like, what? It was like I was living in the Twilight Zone. It was like, okay, you came off the road. You're here to help me. But why are you dressing like Tom? But
he don't know who Tom is though. So
he knows who Tom is, but he's never seen a picture of Tom unless he does. He's one thing Enoch will do, because he's very obsessive with me. He will do investigating. He has the money to pay an investigator or whatever and track. So I'm pretty sure he did get some deeds on him, but and it was almost like kind of a gaslighting situation, because it's like, you here to help me get over the man, but then you're dressing just like the man. How am I supposed to get over him? But and then like I said, the last time I spoke to Enoch was in 2022. Like when I told God I wanted him back, Enoch called me, and his wife knew. His wife was like, when Enoch called me, he said, it's crazy that you called me, because me and Cammie, his wife, was just talking about you 4 days ago.
Why was she talking about you?
because the man can't keep me out of his mouth.
Hmm. Hmm. So basically, this relationship went on for 30 years. Most recent contact was 2022.
Uh-huh.
After this relationship, right? How did it affect your relationships after that?
I learned a lot. I kept my independence. I kept my independence. There were a lot of things. I started setting boundaries left and right. There were things, I started becoming successful in my own right. I stayed focused, and he's always poured into me. He's whatever, like I said, whatever I've needed, whatever I wanted, whatever I desired, he provided. So uh there's not too many men that can meet my standards, nor his, nor God's, mainly God's. Because Enoch,
Can't meet God's standard. What do you mean by that?
I'm saying that if whatever I ask God for, I get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you as a man are coming to me and I'm grinding, I'm making sure that I bring everything to the table. Shit, I am the table. Excuse my French. So if I'm the table, what place settings are you bringing? What are you bringing?
Right.
Because I can name my accomplishments. And I can show you, you can go to the Getty Images and see a couple of my designs and my work.
Right.
So
Yeah. Let's
so
move
anyway,
past the Enoch phase and move into the next phase. What was the next phase?
So going into the next phase, I'm gonna mute mic down. But going into, turn my thing off. But going into the next phase, after the Super Bowl, because this is basically when I asked God for my best friend or whatever. So when I got back from Arizona from the Super Bowl situation, because I drove to Arizona.
And what's the Super Bowl situation? Meaning when you actually designed for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, when I designed for the Super Bowl and the Grammys, because I needed a break. Like the world.
By the way, everybody, she is a fashion designer.
The world was on my shoulders because I had experienced something very odd 6 days before Kobe passed away, and it was said that somebody was going to crash into a mountain. To me, that somebody was going to crash into a mountain in an airplane. Now, it wasn't an airplane. We all know it was a helicopter. So I had to go and drive through the desert to clear my head from all of that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to ask God for some things. And one of those things was Enoch. So when I got back home, even though before I left, I was seeing signs of someone watching me from across the way, the alley in this house that is across the alley from my apartment building. And I live on the second floor. So every time I would get up and pray and fast, every time I would get up and play gospel music to start my daily routine, when I would open up my window, this garage would open up. Now, to my knowledge, in this garage, in this house, there are an elderly couple. I had no knowledge that nobody had moved in, out, was deceased, none of that. Then I started hearing whispers that the elderly wife, had passed away, and I guess the niece was going to, or the granddaughter, or somebody was going to take over. Next thing I know, I started seeing this weird activity. Every time I open up my window, this garage goes up every day, like clockwork. And so I was dealing with this young guy that I had stopped dealing with when I was celibate. I became celibate. And so I was dealing with him, and I had broke things off, and I became celibate again, and I started fasting, and I was going through deliverances and all of that. So 3 months go by. By the third month, I'm cleaning for Jordan Woods, and I come home one day, and there is the garage is open, and there's like some people in the garage, but like at a car, like how like you kind of like hang on the back of the car or whatever, or a truck, you just like kind of sit back, but you got your like leg. And so I went downstairs to grab something out of my trunk, And since I also clean on the side, you know, my cleaning supplies was in the trunk. I think I was going to get a sponge or some gloves because I was cleaning my own apartment at that time. So I was like, let me go and get my cleaning supplies. So I noticed from my peripheral this man on the phone, and he's talking, but he's getting closer and closer to me, to the point where I'm starting to get irritated now, because I'm like, you on the phone, and I, you know, it's apparent that you want to talk to me, but you're still on the phone. Like, just get off the phone and then we can have a conversation, whoever you are. I never looked up to see who the person was. I never gave the person, because I'm irritated. I get irritated like that because it's like, I don't like men peacocking around me. It's so be made. It's like, if you want to say something, come up to me like a gentleman, say hello, how you doing? Hello, queen. Hello, sister. My name is such and such. Maybe hold out your hand even so I can shake your hand or something. Look you in the face or look up at you in the face or whatever. But some type of substance. Mm-hmm. But coming over here like a creep, you're going to get attitude because my guard is up. So I end up shutting my cord to my vacuum cleaner. It was a brand new vacuum cleaner up in my trunk. So then I'm trying to get it out. And mind you, this was like the end of 2019 going into, no, this was 2020. I had just got a brand new vehicle. It was 2019. So like the car wasn't even a year old. So I'm trying not to mess up my cord from my brand new vacuum cleaner or mess up my trunk from my brand new trunk. So I'm irritated. The dude comes right up to me. He's like, oh, hello. So I'm like, hello. So I didn't even look at the guy. I just get an attitude and, you know, I'll go upstairs or whatever. So now I'm upstairs. I'm pissed off. I'm irritated because I was like, who the hell is that? Like, I don't like energy.
He was basically stalking you from the beginning.
Right. Right. So I was like, I don't like energy like that. So, you know, it pissed me off. But before then, when I had went to church, because when I came back into the country or whatever, I came back and it was a new couple in the church. And I was just asking my pastor, like, what's up? You know, what's cracking? Because like, I'm in here, I've been celibate, you know, I'm like doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman of God, as a mother. You know, I'm in school, I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm doing all this stuff. Why? Where is my husband? So he ended up telling me, like, you're going to meet, you know, a man and blah, 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 So in the back of my brain, I was like, you should go apologize. For one, you don't want to be the crazy neighbor. You know, maybe these are going to be your new neighbors. Two, you don't know who this person is, you know, maybe it may be who the pastor was talking about. I don't know. So I decided that when the next time I would see the person, I would say something. And the next time that I noticed that the garage was open, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I didn't see the vehicle. It was, he drove a white Volvo. I didn't see the Volvo, but the garage was open. But then when I got ready to put on my shoes, my biological father came out from his apartment underneath me, because him and his wife lived literally underneath me in the next apartment. And so my dad comes out and he goes in the garage, and I'm like,
so he goes across the street to the garage. So this guy's been opening the garage every time you come out. Then all of a sudden you see your father go into the garage.
Right. So I'm like, this can't be good. Right. So
Why did you say you can't be good?
Because my father is a drug addict. My father's, you know, he can be, you know, my father's was very intelligent and all of that or whatever. But at the same time, my father is a drug addict. And even if he just was coming to be friendly to this guy, I wanted to know what was going on, especially since all this creepy activity had been happening. Like, okay, so daddy knows who this person is. So now I'm going to really get some answers. Because even if he don't tell me, the guy don't tell me the truth, my daddy ain't going to lie to me.
Right.
That I know for sure. But before I can even ask my father anything, the creepity creep came creeping through the alley like a damn movie. So then my dad comes out the garage and he started talking to him immediately. And I cut that ish in the bud. I was like, Daddy, I was like, I'm sorry, but can you hold on for a second? I need to ask this young man some stuff. Because if I would have just been like, I need to talk to this ninja, my dad's like that too sometimes, but like my dad always expects me to be and taught me how to be respectable. So my dad knows I don't know this man. So for me to just come off the bat and call him a ninja, my dad would have started fussing at me. So I had to come from a different approach so my dad can understand I was serious and I needed him to back away for a second. And so when he did that, I lit into the guy like I wanted to light into him. Like, Ninja, who is you? Where you come from? Why you talking to my daddy? Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. My name is Brian Russell Westbrook. I'm Russell Westbrook from the Lakers' uncle. I said, I don't care nothing about who you is and who your people's is. Why you been watching me and, you know, how you know my father? So he was like, hold on. If you just give me a chance to talk to you. And I was like, first of all, I'm already like interested in somebody else. You know, I'm not trying to like holler at you and all this stuff. I'm trying
But
to
nevertheless, you end up talking to him at some point.
What happened?
Nevertheless, you end up talking to him regardless,
But
right?
Don't minimize that. So retract that, and then I'll keep telling my story because that. Nevertheless, you kept talking to him. That I don't like how that sits with my spirit the way you just said it. So
well, the way I said it is because like you're going.
Yes, nevertheless, but I'm telling you,
you're being too detail orientated in the story
not,
because okay, you were talking to someone else at the time, but you were talking.
I'm gonna go I'm gonna go off the mic right quick, but I'm still talking. But yes, I told him that, and he said to give him a chance to prove himself. And so I told him that I would give him a certain amount of time to prove that he was supposed to be this upstanding man. Because he was like, I'm a good guy. And I was like, because I had a weird experience right before then. A guy was trying to give me some marijuana, and I was going to the dispensary, and he was trying to give me free marijuana because they was trying to sell it like near the dispensary. And he was like, you can trust me. I'm a good guy. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I stepped back and I was like, you ain't no good guy. I said, because good guys don't say the stuff like that. I said, monsters and predators say stuff like that. So when he said that, when Westbrook said that to me, I checked him and told him the same thing. So, but I told him, I was like, I'll give you a chance. You know, for one, I already know that there's really no protection for me as a Black woman. There's even less protection for me. I can know for a fact from my father because he didn't protect me when I was 2. So I had to figure things out on how I was going to approach this situation. So I'm going to take a little break, a little bathroom break. You can play some music or whatever. I'll take a little bathroom break.
Right. So what we have to do, I would like to get to the meat of the story because we're at an hour right now, and
Genesis,
I don't want to go. No, because
I can't. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not going to disrespect you at all, but I sat and supported you talk to those young men yesterday for 5 hours. I did a lot of stuff for 5 hours listening to you and supporting you, and you're dwindling my time down. Things that I'm talking about.
I'm not dwindling your time down.
Hold on.
I'm not dwindling your time down.
The things that I'm talking about and detailing, you don't know what could help somebody and what can't. You trying to talk about get to the meat and potatoes. Everything is meat and potatoes, baby. You don't know what's going to feed somebody and what's not. And what you're trying to get me to leave out may be the very thing that may save somebody's life. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Well, the meat and potatoes might save someone's life.
This is the meat and potatoes. Everything else is just...
The fact that you were seeing another guy when you were talking to Westbrook, that does not the meat and potatoes.
I wasn't...
Okay.
Okay, right. I'm going to go take a bathroom break.
Okay. All right.
Is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
We ain't taking a home. Not taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of.
Okay, continue.
So anyhow, at this point, when we do take a drive, because he was like, "Oh, let's take a drive, Westbrook," and I was like, "No, this is what happened." He was like, "Come in my house and so we can have a talk." And I was like, "Boy, I don't know you. I'm not going in your house." Like, and he was like, "Well, we can go in your house." I was like, "You're not going in my house either." And so we end up deciding that, okay, I figured since my father at least knows him and my neighbors by that point had let me know that they know him and all of that stuff, I decided, all right, well, we'll just take a ride to the park or something, or just take a ride around. And so I had my marijuana and he had his, and he was trying to get me to smoke it. And I was like, no, you smoke yours, I'll smoke mine, or whatever. And so this happened. And then my classmate that day needed COVID, the CVID had started. But my classmate, she needed like stuff to help her graduate or whatever. So I told her, I was like, come by, grab my sewing machine, grab my dress form, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to make sure that she graduated. Well, Westbrook sees her, and now he got a little crush on her. So he kept mentioning her, I like that Jasmine. I like that Jasmine. I was like, Jasmine got a whole nother situation going on in her life. You need to stay focused. So he has a son's mother. She ended up coming to me and asking me, why do I keep the man overnight? I told her I'm a respectable woman and I'm in a relationship with him. So he gonna be fasting and praying in here. He gonna be eating dinner. When I say he gonna eat dinner, he gonna do what he's supposed to do, and he ain't gonna be just hitting and quitting it. He gonna spend a night is what he gonna do. And he gonna get up and eat breakfast and he gonna go about his day. And so that's what ended up happening with that. And we were, I was starting to hear things, of course, like my dad was going through with his wife. His wife was calling him all kind of crackheads. That was disturbing me and causing me PTSD. And then Westbrook baby mama started tripping because he was like, all his attention and time was going towards me and not towards her. And so then one time, I end up having, I had told my assistant that I felt like he was drugging me. Like he was lacing the marijuana that we were smoking with ecstasy. And so this particular time that I told her, it happened to be that day, he texted me and was like, hey, babe, you want to try some X? I was like, sure. So I told my assistant, I said, I'm about to see if I feel the same way when we smoke when he gives me this ecstasy. Well, for this particular day, we were on lockdown. The government had locked us all down, and we had a curfew, and the curfew was like at, I think, 8 o'clock. No, I think the curfew was at like 6. So because we were going to take this ecstasy, things probably were going to get a little wild, and I decided to get a hotel room. And so I got the hotel room or whatever, and I got it. I paid extra money for smoking. And because a lot of hotel rooms you can't smoke or you'll get fined like $300-$400. So I paid extra so that we can, enjoy ourselves and not have to go and smoke outside or whatever the case is, or violate the rules. And when I get back to our place, to my place and to where his place is, he tells me he can't go because they done shut down everything. Not only that, his baby mama is talking about she needs to talk to him about some damn tires on the car. So I go off and I'm like, run me my money. Like, you wasting my time, run me my money. So he's just like, he from the South. He's talking about martial law, all this mess. I'm like, I don't give a damn about none of that. Run me my money. So he's like, man, why you gotta act like that? All this stuff. So now I'm sexually charged. No, this is, yeah, I'm still sexually charged. I hadn't taken the E yet. And I pissed off. So he was just like, let's just go upstairs, which is to my place, and just talk about it. So we're arguing, and I'm like, run me my money, because he ran me like almost all of my money. It was $200, and he was short $50. And I was like, if you don't run me my money, I'm gonna go in your house and get my money. Run me my money. Like, I was highly upset. And so he kept trying to get me to take the pill. And I was like, I'm not going to take this pill. I need to eat something, and I need to calm down. Because if anybody has ever taken a drug like ecstasy or something like that, you have to be in the right state of mind. Otherwise, if you're angry, you're going to be 10 times, 20 times, 100 times angrier on that pill. If you're like feeling fine, you're good, you're in a good vibe, that's how you're going to be. It's going to amplify that. So I was definitely, the way that I was feeling, and how he had pissed me off, if I would have took that, something would have happened. So I was gonna just warm some food up, but God was like, no, I want you to prepare some vegetables, and I want you to pray. So I was cutting up the vegetables. He's talking, he's irritating me. I got a knife in my hand, and I'm like, why is you talking to me like this? And I got this knife in my hand. So he noticed I got real still, and I just started praying with my hands in the water. I think I was finna cook some spinach and like a stir fry or something. And so he was like, what are you doing? I was like, you know what I'm doing. And so I cook the food, and I eat the food, and then I take the pill. So, we're enjoying ourselves, we're drinking, and we're talking. Now everything is calm. And he's giving me the eggplant. We getting into it. And then that turns into a, what is it, necrophilia, like when somebody likes to be intimate with corpses. It turned into kind of like that, or like a pedophilia type of vibe. And I was like, nah, you need to get up. And he was like in his own world. He's talking to demons, saying stuff and stuff that I'm not finna repeat. And I was like, hey, I need you to get up. He was like, nah, man, move out the way. He pushed me, because I was like kind of trying to get up. He was on top of me. So I was trying to like get up on my elbows, like trying to press myself up. Like, so at least one part of my body is up, as he's in me. And he's pushing me back, like, move back, man, move back. So he's pumping. So I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, for real? And so I'm like, at this point, I'm telling him, just like I'm talking to y'all right now, I'm like, at this point, this is great. And he's pumping harder. And I said, Brian, I need you to connect with me. I need you to look at me in my face. He's looking at me in my face, and he's still pumping. I'm like, I need you to get up out of me. I am not consenting to what you are doing to me right now. He's still pumping. He gets done and everything. And I'm like, wow. So by this point, it's probably barely 8 o'clock, because I think it was around like 6 or 7. It's barely like 8 o'clock going to maybe 8:15 or something. So he tells me to go to bed. And I'm like, fuck out of here. I ain't going to bed. I'm about to go to my parents' house. I went to my parents' house. I'm livid. I'm hurt. I'm disgusted. My parents already know that I'm dating him. And so I'm just like, just floating in outer space. And so my bonus mom is like, what's wrong with you? And then I just went and sat in her lap, and I just held her, and I just cried. And I told her, that I just got raped and what happened. And so then, my dad was like, what's going on? And so I told him, and he was like, what the hell? And then, so, cause we were trying to figure out, my family are like, that guy that he mentioned that played for the Lakers, my cousins actually played basketball with him before he became in the big league. So that's why I was telling him, like, you trying to tell me who you are, and it could easily be validated. And you know what I'm saying? So like, don't lie to me and tell me you somebody that you're not, because it can easily be proved. So my dad kept saying, I don't even understand why he's living out in LA in your neighborhood when he got money. Like, my dad thought he was this other Westbrook, this other basketball player, a football player. And so I was like, Dad, I don't know. I said, but he has to go. Like, I'm gonna do something. And my parents know, they know me. And so my parents stay in Carson, my mom stays in Compton, and I live in LA. And so I went back home like a day later, but before I even went back home, I got a room and he was texting me like, I want some more. And I was like, you're the devil. I was like, you need to stay far away from me. And he was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It was the ex, please forgive me, all this stuff. And then drops a bombshell that he was touched when he was young. So you know what that did, right? It trauma bonded me to him, because now I'm like, okay, I've been touched and he's talking about he's been touched, so maybe this is why he did what he did. So I continued to deal with him, and that didn't happen for probably for a minute. I was grinding out. I had my assistants. At this point I got a second assistant, and I'm making masks, because this is why I got the assistants, because everybody needed face masks and I'm overwhelmed. I'm drowning in face masks, so I needed somebody to cut the fabric out, trace the stuff. Like, I had a little assembly line going, just like we had the assembly line going for the Super Bowl shorts that we created and designed for J-Lo backup dancers. So I took that same concept and did it in my own apartment. My apartment was much larger than the apartment we did the Super Bowl stuff in, so I knew it could be done. And so he would go to work. Before he'd go to work, he would come and bring me money, either put it in my mailbox, or he would see me or call me or tell me come downstairs and get money or whatever. So then what ended up happening, his son's mom started getting jealous. My dad's wife started telling her anytime that he was with me. And then one of the times I had to drop my assistant off, and I started hearing a voice in my head when I was driving through the desert telling me to off myself. And so this was starting to happen, and I was just like, no, I'm not finna off myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do that. I'm at the top of my career. This is me like telling that voice as I'm driving. I have no reason to kill myself. Like, I'm at the top of my career. I now have two assistants, where before, I didn't have any assistants. So it's like, no, there's no reason for me to do anything to harm myself. And so the next time we were intimate, I had told him, I was like, hey, you need to ride with me to go and drop her off. And he really wasn't feeling it, because I guess he figured his baby mama was going to get wind of it, which she did, because my uh, stepmother, well, my dad's wife, I don't even consider her my stepmother, but my dad's wife called her and told her that we were together, and which she already knew. It wasn't that she didn't know, but I think the shame of other people knowing what was going on behind her closed doors, because they were in the front of their house acting like Leave It to Beaver, but in the back of the house in the alleyway they acting like swingers, and doing what me and Enoch did. And ironically enough, her name is Michelle, and Enoch's ex that lived around the corner from me name is Michelle as well. So when all this stuff started happening, I felt like my karma for basically doing things with Michelle was coming back to bite me in the ass. And I was telling Enoch that as well. And I was trying to procure this house that I found in Jamaica, and I wanted Enoch to buy the house. And he wanted me to give him an itemized list of everything and all this stuff. Just pretty much the same. He just wanted to control me with that house, and I was just like, forget it. I was like, if you don't get the house for me, God is gonna definitely bless me with the house. So I'm just gonna deal with this situation with Westbrook and keep it pushing. And so I did eventually start seeing the other guy, because I was trying to stay away from Westbrook. Every time I would try to get away from him, he would tell me that I'm not gonna stop taking care of you. I'm not gonna stop making sure you're okay. You know, your sons are not here. You don't have no man to take care of you and all of this stuff. And I told him, like, I don't want you. So one day he called me, and I was with my assistant and her daughter in my bedroom, and we were watching movies on my projector screen. And he just kept calling me all day from work, like he wanted some. And I was like, fine, I'll give you some, whatever. And so when he got off of work, you know, I got ready to go and get like some liquor or whatever. And I got to get to the end of our alley. And he tells me he can't give me none. And I was like, at that point, I was like, that's it. That's it. So I pulled out the driveway. And I had told him, I said, it's a good thing that I haven't had anything to drink just yet. He was like, oh, you haven't had nothing to drink at all today? And I was like, no. So now I'm pissed because we had dozed off from the movies that we were watching, and we were in a good sleep. But like every time I would get ready to like change gears, probably get ready to make some jewelry or pop in another movie with my assistant and her daughter, or just enjoy my life, he was calling, begging for poom poom. So when he said he couldn't come, and you know, basically called me all day, all night asking for it, I pulled up behind his truck and I called him and I said, you got 5 minutes to move your truck and put it in the garage, or I'm busting out all your windows in your truck. I went upstairs. I got my bat. I told my assistant, one of my assistants, I said, uh, I want you to stand at the edge of the stairs because I'm finna bust this ninja's windows out. I said, because she had woke up after like I got up or whatever, and she went to her room, which is the front of my apartment, with her daughter. And so I told her, I said, now, you know, we've been in here having a good time this whole time, and he been just calling me, calling me, calling me. And now he's talking about, you know, he can't give me none or whatever because of his baby mama and all this stuff. So I was like, I'm done. I'm tired, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this little run around and all of this stuff. And especially her knowing, she even told me out of her mouth, he does his thing, I do my thing. So it's like, what is the problem? Even one time when I tried to get rid of him, I went and to the grocery store, and I was buying all new pots and pans and comforters and all this stuff. As some grocery stores sell, you know, everything, a little bit everything. And he was in a grocery store with a whole nother chick, not his baby mama. So I was like, praise the Lord. I took the trash out right in time. So when I met up with his baby mama, when she asked me why I kept him overnight, I said, you know, he got a whole nother chick. She was like, oh yeah, that's Mercedes. So she already knew about the chick. But with me, because the other females, I guess, that he was dealing with, including her, didn't require things from him that I required, she was salty. She required bare minimum, so he gave her bare minimum. I required a lot, so that's what he produced. So so anyway, he didn't move the truck. I went downstairs and busted out all the windows, and then he called me and he was like, you did tell me to move the truck. He said, you babe, you did tell me to move the truck, and I didn't check the message until a minute ago. So he wasn't even mad, but his son's mom was like, F that, call the police. The police came. They was like, Miss Garland, can we talk to you? I was like, you can talk to me through this screen door. That's how you gonna talk to me. And he was like, the cop was like, did you bust out his windows? I said, yep. And he said, why? I said, because he was harassing me for sex. And so he was like, but did you have to bust out the windows? I said, yep, because he's been doing this. I told him everything that he had been doing. He had been stalking me, how I ended up in that relationship with him, how she had attacked me, you know, or whatever, and put $5,000 worth of damages on my car, all of that. And so he was like, the cop was like, I need you to come out here. I said, I'm not coming out of there. I said, I was on the phone with y'all, with your dispatcher, when she ran into my car when I was pulling into my driveway. I said, I'm not coming out of there. I said, Black women, especially at that time, Black people was getting off. I said, I'm in here by myself with my assistant, and I'm a Black woman. I'm not coming out. Go get your superior. He didn't go get his superior. He went and got called other cops, 8 cops, and blocked out all the lights in the alley. My neighbor called me. He said, "Girl, don't come out there." He old man. "Girl, don't come out there. They got all them cops waiting to handcuff you." I said, "Ray, I see them." I had just because they turned the light off, they didn't think God was going to give me super x-ray vision and see all they asses. I said, "I see all y'all." And I told him, I said, "This ain't right. If y'all, this wouldn't have even happened if y'all would have did y'all due diligence when I made the police report and told y'all that I was attacked and this man has been stalking me, and that's how I ended up in the relationship. He raped me. Y'all ain't did nothing about that. Da 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 da." Then when I said he's even selling dope out the house, then he comes running out the garage. I'm like, okay, truce. I'll pay for the $5,000 on her car, and I won't harass her for punani no more. The cops left. Then after that, I started walking around their house for 7 days like the walls of Jericho. I started walking around because I told him, I said, "When I get quiet, you better get very, very scared. Be very afraid." So after I walked around the house for 7 days, he told me one of his kids, because he had a lot of kids, one of his kids' mother was passing away. She was in a hospital because of the C word. Not cancer, but the other C word. So he was going to go back to Texas. So I was like, "All right." And he was like, "Well, when I come back, I'm moving and getting my own place, and I want us to work it out. And I also want to be better as a man." And I said, "Well, we'll see when you get back." Well, when he got back, he came, before and this is what I'm talking about. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff. When that incident happened with the baby mother hitting my car and the police coming and all that stuff, I booked a plane ticket to Grenada. I left and went to Grenada for a month. While I was there, I called her. I left her a message apologizing for even getting involved with him. I did some soul searching. I was there for a week. I met a wonderful FBI agent, because this was right before the inauguration. So he was getting ready for the inauguration of Biden. And I was just there on that island, that beautiful island of Grenada, fasting and praying. And then I came back. When I came back, I had all type of voicemails from him talking about, she told him that I called, was I looking for him? And I didn't respond at all. I wasn't looking for him. I was making amends and apologizing for even getting into her world with that monster. And so, because she even was like, that $50 that he owed me from that night, she was like, "I'll pay the $50. I said, "No." I said, "He is a grown man." I said, "That is the problem." I said, "You are not letting him be the man that he's supposed to be. And then you get mad at me when I require him to be the man that he's supposed to be. Your issue is not with me. Your issue is with yourself and with him, the man that you chose. I didn't choose him. He stalked me." Because she said, "Why you didn't tell me or ask me if you could sleep with him?" Girl, I didn't know who you was or where you was. Where you been for 7-8 months by now? That's what I wanted to know. And I told her, "Stop stopping me while I'm grinding. You should." She was an esthetician. I said, "You should be having clients come up in here. I'm in here working, delivering masks and grinding out. Ain't nobody got time for you and this damn dusty ass nigga. I'm trying to make a life and build an empire and leave a legacy. Y'all stopping my grind." I told her, next time she fucking stopped me, excuse me for cursing like this, but next time she stopped me, I'm gonna put her on my payroll. That's what I told her. You a boss within your own right. If you choose not to be a boss in your own right and let that dusty Negro do whatever he want to do, then that's on you and yours. But it will not stand over here with me, Lekecia Marie Garland. No, it won't. I'm gonna fight to the end. How about that? And I'll fight for you too, since you don't have the strength till you wake up. So when I came back, my plan was to come right back from Grenada and then go to Jamaica and spend 5 months in Jamaica. But something ended up happening where I had to get rid of my dogs, and I had to, especially since I was going to be going to Jamaica for this period of time, and I had to get rid of my assistants. But I didn't get rid of my assistants. I didn't get rid of the dogs just yet. I went to Jamaica, but before I went to Jamaica, he came over after he came back from Texas, and I should have known something was up because as soon as I opened up the door, he had like a lot of angry aggression. But I kind of just didn't pay it any mind because I was just like, whatever, you mad, you can be mad. Because he used to be mad, like if I would have a guy come over or something like that, and I would tell him like, Ninja, I'm grown. Like I am grown. You got may have situations, but I'm grown. I can see whoever I want. I can have. I pay my own bills. I don't care whatever money you can give me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks, and if I pay the bills, what I say go. You don't have no say so in my life. Even if at this point you put a ring on my finger, you still got limited say so over my life. That's how I feel. So he came in, we smoked, we drank, we chilled, we started, being intimate. Well, this time he started saying that he know that I was screwing some dude and I was making it. He heard me. This is what he said. He heard me being intimate with a man, and I was begging the man for more and all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Well, in fact, he did hear that, but it wasn't at that time. He was listening in on me being intimate with a young man that I had invited over probably 4 or 5 months before then. And he likes to look and listen. He's a peeping Tom, is what he is. So he was peeping. He heard. It's been driving him crazy. He even came, I busted him because that day that guy had spent the night, I had to take my assistant to work. And when I dropped her off I had her baby. And so the baby was, I had put her to sleep. And I was standing at my back door. It was like probably 6 a.m. Sunlight had just barely started creeping up. Well, I guess he didn't get no sleep that night. Because he came out of his garage. You could tell that he hadn't washed his face or brushed his teeth. And he comes pulling out the garage slow. And literally all he got to do is pull out the garage and just back his car up and pull his car like a few inches or feet up. And he'll be right in the back of my apartment building, which is right in the back of my car. So the guy was in my parking space and I was in another parking space. And he pulled up behind the guy's truck. And I guess he was going to take the guy's license plate number down. And I was like, hello, good morning. And he, hello. I was like, did you sleep well? And I just started laughing. I was like, have a good day. He drove around the corner and drove that Volvo right back into that garage with his soaking self and was mad the whole entire day until a couple of days later or whatever, until he left or got over it or whatever. But when he got back from Texas, that's what he was angry about. And he started to voice that. And I was like, boy, please. Ain't nobody tripping off of you. Like, whatever. Ain't nobody been with nobody. Like, whatever. And then he started getting really forceful. And he was just like, I'm about to grape you. And I was like, no, the hell you ain't. So we in here arguing. But I don't have on no clothes. And he don't got on no clothes. So then he started telling me the heinous way he was going to grape me. And I had started noticing, like, when we were intimate, like, certain stuff that, like, I like fellatio. He really stopped, like, requiring fellatio. I never really tried to, like, give it again, but I just noticed, like, he wasn't asking for it, But in the grape process right now, he's telling me, I'm gonna make you suck my eggplant. I'm gonna violate you anally. I'm just like your I'm just like the men in your family that raped you. He's saying all this stuff to me. He's throwing me around like a Raggedy Ann doll all over my room. And I'm just like, I'm not screaming, but I'm like, are you effing serious? And I'm like, you're not finna do none of that to me. I'm going off and talking mess and all of this stuff. And so he's in me and he's being all rough and all of this stuff. And then he's just like, I want you to just lay there. And I'm like, no, I'm not finna just lay here. I'm a woman. I'm a grown woman. I don't know what you think this is and all this stuff. I'm protesting. It's going down. And I remember telling him, like, hold on for a second. Let me grab something. I think I was like, let me grab my beer. So I was trying to act like, I was about to drink my beer. So I was like, let me grab my beer. So of course he's going to let me grab my beer because the more inebriated I am, the more he can do to me. Right. So I'm thinking if I grab this beer, maybe, I can just smash him over the head with it. But then I'm thinking, okay, if I smash him over the head, is he going to get more aggressive? How is this going to turn out? And my dogs, I never put my dogs in another room, but I had put my dogs in the front room. And because my dog Gucci, not this Gucci, but the other Gucci, he would react to him. So I knew if Gucci saw him, it was going to be a big issue. And Gucci probably would have been trying to get down, pound down the door and all this stuff. So the dogs were in the front room. And it's just me and him in my back room. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm really like, this is worse than the first time. And he's just like stroking my face and kissing my face. And he's like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to be. Just lay there and take it. And I was just like, this is disgusting. Like, I don't want to be intimate with you like this, and then on top of that, you're raping me again when I'm consensually giving you intimacy. Like, what is this? Like, what the hell? So he's doing all this stuff. He's tossing me around. He'll insert himself in me. Then he'll get mad again. And he's cussing up and down. You F that mother effer, and you let him do this, and you was begging for this, and is this how you wanted? This how he did it, and this and this and this and this and this. He's just driving himself insane like a madman. So anything that he thought that I did with that man, he basically wanted to act out and do to me. So after it was all said and done, I got up and I slapped the shit out of him. So he starts laughing. It's this particular time, it's 6 o'clock. It's barely 6 o'clock. He started laughing. He said, "Oh, what you gonna do now?" He said, "You already bought mace to try to mace me. That didn't work." He said, "You already tried to tase me. That didn't work. You busted out my windows to the car and to the house. What you gonna do next? Because ain't nothing gonna stop me. This is just the fourth quarter." And I said, "I'm gonna get and light you up because you're not gonna keep doing this to me." He said, "Go to bed." I said, "I'm not going to bed. I'm going to my parents' house." No, I said, "I'm taking a drive." I didn't even say I'm going to my parents' house. I said, "I'm about to take a drive and figure out what the heck just happened. Like, really? Like, not only did you violate me once and I let you back in, but now this is two times." Got it. Copy. Got it. So this time when I went to my parents' house, I told them what happened and I was out for vengeance. I was ready to posse up, rally up, do what I had to do. And I didn't do any of it. I was just living out of my body. I was living out of my body and I was just like, so Basically, my father pimped me out to this man. And it has allowed this man to violate me over and over and over again. And the woman that my father was married to was a straight up witch. There's no two ways about it. And they were getting high from him. And he probably was giving an eggplant to other people. So if that's the case, then who was going to save me? Police didn't do nothing. My family that knows about it hasn't done anything. It took my 25-year-old son. Both of my sons, I had already knew what was going on. But it took my 25-year-old son to tell him to keep your hands off my mother and don't say nothing to my mother. He was such a coward. My son asked him, what was your plans when you got with my mother? He said, I didn't have no plans. I just knew that I wanted her. I just knew that I had to have her. My son said, you got 2 women and you can't even take care of one? He said, you sound like a weak man. My son was 25 at the time. He told him, if you say something else to my mama, I know something. Don't speak to her. Don't look her way. Don't come on to her door. Don't do nothing. He was trying to talk to me. He said, Ninja, what did I tell you? I said, from this point on, don't say nothing to my mother. So he left eventually. The house got cleaned out, but he kept coming back. Nothing in the house. But he kept coming back. A year goes by. I get into a whole nother relationship. And he still was stalking me. My neighbors from down the way that I barely even knew start saying, girl, he be sitting outside your house for 25, 45 minutes every night. I said, I know. And like I said, the police don't do anything. Nothing. They asked me, did you get a restraining order? For what? Y'all can't even do anything with the police report. And then on top of that, every time I would feel like he was around, I would be on point because my neighbors would come and tell me. Like, we seen him. He was sitting outside your house. Sitting outside looking up at your bedroom. So this went on. And then I got into another relationship. And this relationship was a emotionally and verbally abusive relationship. This is when I found out about narcissistic abuse, love bombing. This man would tell me that I was beautiful every day, every chance he could get. And then eventually start asking me, why do my eyes look the way they look? I remember when we were intimate one time and he sucked my lip so big that it was like this. It was like this. And I could feel it pounding while it was still in his mouth. And I was just like this, ready to catch my lip by the time, because I'm telling him, I'm like, something, you getting intimate with your lover and stuff like that, and you're kissing and you having a good juicy kiss, and they start sucking on your lips. Okay, the sucking on lips is cool, but you're gonna suck my lip to the point where it's black and blue and it's about to burst. It feels like it's about to burst. And then I was telling him, I'm like, oh my God, first of all, I'm pissed because now you done ruined the mood. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Now I'm trying, I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, so he's trying to convince me that I'm so beautiful, even with what he just did to my lip. And he kept saying, babe, you're so beautiful. And I said, I don't feel beautiful. Like, I was literally, it was like, I'm going to say this. It was almost like how a man that's a pimp or have pimpish ways just haul off and slap a woman, and she's dazed and confused, and she don't know what the hell done happened, and she's trying to figure it out quickly in her mind. That's how it was with me. He didn't slap the hell out of me, but sucking my bottom lip like that and causing me that much pain. And then I kept talking about it because I was literally in pain. Like, I had to hold my lip like this and just pray and ask God. I said, Lord, I shouldn't even be on this, man. I know that I shouldn't even be asking you right now to help me right now. And don't let my lip be busted or bruised or bust open after this. I had to ask God to show me mercy. And then, you know, he kept saying, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Oh, you look so beautiful. Your lips is beautiful. I said, because he did that, my lip did turn like black and blue. This part. So I was like, I wear crazy makeup and stuff, but I wasn't really like wearing like a lot of lipstick. I hadn't created my lipstick line or anything like that. So sometimes I would wear loud lipstick and stuff like that, but sometimes I would just go barefaced. And he was like, you wear, you know, because I kept complaining about it. He was like, put some makeup on it. You wear all those bright colors, put some makeup on it. And I was like, oh, you're an abuser. Because who says that? Abusers. When they abuse you and they hurt your face or hurt a part of your body and they tell you throw some makeup on it. So I was just like, oh my God. And then after I realized, like, okay, this dude may be an abuser, he started triggering me from Westbrook. So I would tell him, like, hey, can you not say that? Like, certain stuff was triggering me. Red flags was going off. And he was getting offended. Instead of saying, sure, babe, like, or asking me, like, what makes this trigger you or whatever, he would get mad. You talking about some other ninja. And no, you're triggering me. And I had good rights, every right to say everything that I was telling him and say everything that I was trying to warn him about, because my body and myself was trying to warn me, like, he's just like him. Matter of fact, he's worse. But the only reason why that I still stayed dealing with this guy is because everybody that I ran into that I knew mutually of him came from good, decent stock, and they were related. So it was almost like, okay, you know, it's almost like giving a good rating or a grade 8 rating to a restaurant by proxy. You know, so I was just like, okay, you know, cool. I know his family. I do work with his cousin, you know, because I'm a stylist and a designer. You know, I knew the cousin's sister, and you know, I knew of the other cousin because he sang, you know, and I knew the uncle because the uncle was who was the one that suggested that I had my first fashion show. So I knew his family. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, but I'm getting to know him. And it goes to show that somebody can vouch for someone, but you never know how a person is behind closed doors. You never know someone's true character. So I would say, even with that, be careful on who you're vouching for and giving your word for, because that person may be somebody completely different from who they show you they are. They could be completely different. So what ended up happening in that relationship was, like I said, he would love bomb me, and then he would ask me stuff like, what's wrong with your eyes? What's wrong with that eye? Or whatever. So that started to cause, you know, to break me down little by little. And then he would sleep deprive me. Like, he kept complaining about my dogs, saying that his allergies were messing up. So I gave him that front room that my assistants were living in. When I didn't have the assistants anymore. Now the front room was used for one big closet. So when my clients come in, when I have to style them, they can just go in that room, pick out what they need, and walk out the door. I'll take a list, an itemized list of what they have, and then you know, they walk out the door. So my place was really big. I had it set up like a boutique or whatever. And so I let him have that room. Thank you, Jackie. I let him have that room because, you know, I was just like tired of him complaining about my dogs. And that's my dog's house. You ain't gonna come in my house and be complaining about too much. I'll make some accommodations for you for a second. And if it still ain't good enough, then you know what? Especially with the apartment that I had, there were 2 ways you can get in and out. You can go out the front and you can come in the front. You can go out the back, or you can come in the back. So either way, you're gonna go out one of those doors if you could do inconveniencing me too much. Okay. So I gave him the front room, but he would get up. Like, let's say I was asleep. He would wake up in the middle of the night and be talking about, babe, you want to smoke? And then I'll be like, okay, he up. So, all right. Because we made our own hours. We're entrepreneurs. He was a barber. He sang, also because that's in his bloodline, singers and entertainers in his bloodline. And then I design and stuff like that. So, it didn't matter if he was waking me up at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, 12:00 at midnight or whatever, because we made our own hours. So, but like one particular time, a couple of times, but this first time, he asked me, did I want to smoke? And I was like, yeah, I smoke. When I smoke, I either smoke joints or I'll do like, the blunts. And I don't really smoke a lot of marijuana and stuff like that. So I don't pack my marijuana, my blunts with marijuana, all that. If you're going to get high, you're going to get high. Skinny, little, fat, whatever. I've had it all. When I was with my older son's dad, that's probably how I ended up getting pregnant too, because they was rolling spliffs like this big. Hold on, this big, like it's out of the frame. That's how big the spliffs were. So it's probably how I ended up getting pregnant, baby. But anyway, going back to it, he smoked backwoods. This man made me roll him a backwood, and I didn't know how to do none of that. And I cried, y'all. Like, it was so devastating, because he was like, well, we ain't gonna smoke then. And I was like, my attitude is, I'm gonna smoke regardless if you ain't gonna smoke. But he took my things that I used to roll my stuff. So I felt like I had no choice. I could have went off and kicked him out that night and all of that stuff, but you're not really thinking when stuff like that is happening, like, oh, let me get rid of you, nigga, right now. Ninja. And so I wrote it, but I was like, it was devastating, because I literally was crying, and I couldn't even believe, like, why are you crying? But it was the fact that he took all control from me. I felt helpless, and he was literally making me like it was my grandparents making me learn a skill or something, And so, and that's the only way that I could smoke marijuana around him. And he was always around me, because like I said, we made our own hours. So, the only time that I could smoke my marijuana in peace was when he was at work cutting hair, and I would be at my house, cooking food, cleaning, and making jewelry and stuff in my own world. Then I can have peace and all that stuff. But that went on, and the relationship really wasn't that long. It only lasted 4 months, almost 5 months tops. But he was in love with his girl cousin. He kept trying to convince me to befriend her, and I was like, she don't rock with me like that. And he was like, nah, man, you should rock with she. Her name is Sheila. You should rock with she. And I was like, I ain't trying to rock with Sheila. And then my church always used to say, love the hell out of people. Literally, love the hell out of them. And so I said, okay, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to love the hell out of her. What I didn't realize is when I start fasting and praying and ask God to show me certain stuff, he showed me some stuff. They are blood cousins, and they are sleeping together. And, God would just show me different things. Like every time I would pray, and they would tell on themselves and be doing little weird stuff. And to the point where he had a 420 party at his barbershop, and he had kicked up some records the night before. And I was just like, whatever. But I'm a supportive girlfriend, and I'm gonna make sure you handle your business. So I went up to the shop, helped out and everything. And that girl was running around with her head cut off. I can do it. I got this. I can go and do this. I can go and do that. Blah, 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 blah. So he was telling me that he had to go to Arizona, him and her, to go to Arizona to go pick up some money. And so I was like, all right, because he kept saying he needed to go to Arizona. And I had got a rental car, because that was another thing too. Stop. That was another thing too. I wanted to buy a car, even though I was only going to be in America for like 5 or 6 months, I was still grinding. I had clients that I was personal clients that I was cleaning for, and I was using my mother's car because of the Westbrook situation. My 2019 vehicle got taken away. So I lost that vehicle. And so I was just like around the neighborhood. That's how I ended up meeting the guy that I got engaged to, because he worked in the neighborhood. He was from 60s, and he knew Nip. He also knew some other people that I knew as well, or whatever. And so, you know, anytime you are raised, or anytime you are in the neighborhood of where I'm from and where I lived or whatever, we're very close knit. And when you know people that know people and all of that stuff. So I knew people from Rolling 60s, the gang, and he was affiliated. You know, he wasn't no gangster. He tried to act like he was. Him or his brother wasn't no gangster. The cousins, D Smoke and Sir, at one point they were gangsters. I don't know if they were gang members, but they was gangsters. But now they're, you know, they're entertainers, as well as the sister. My ex wants that life. He told me after a while, he told God he doesn't want love. He wants money. He wants the money. He wants the limelight like his family. And because he ain't gonna do right and he don't want to do right, he ain't even living his life. I found out when I met his brother, everything that that man told me was a lie. That was his brother's life. Y'all, he even catfished. Y'all know that man that came out, Toby, whatever his name is. He looked like his whole people is in the coat. They all wear the same coatish looking clothes, and he black, dark skin. I won't say black, but he's dark skin. He's a black man. And I forgot what his wife is called. He leaves a nasty taste in my mouth too, because it reminds me of my ex-fiance. Always he gonna say that woman wasn't his first pick, and down that woman. Men that are narcissists, like those type of men, will love bomb you and then tear you down in the worst way and try to humiliate you. And that's what that man did. He tried to humiliate me and take everything that I had. He said he was going to buy a car. I told him how much money I had in the bank. He drained my accounts. I was under some kind of spell. I was spending money on this man. I don't spend money on men like that. I may buy you, you know, some shoes or whatever, maybe an outfit here or there, but I'm not spending money on you like that. Mm-mm. 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 Nope. Only man that I'm spending money on like that, or man, is Enoch. I have spent money on my ex-husband and my ex that passed away. That's it. I'm not spending money on men. I don't do all that. Mm-mm. Gifts is one thing, but that man was draining me, sucking me dry, everything, and to the point where I was like, hey, I need to replenish my bank accounts. He told me, he looked around in my apartment, everything that I accumulated from the 16 years that I lived in my apartment, my sewing machines, my heat press, all that, told me to sell it off. And you know what I did? Out of spite, not even thinking that I had money coming in, I sold it off to prove a point. And he put some voodoo on me, and I didn't make not one dime. Well, I made the stuff that I sold, I made money off of that. But I had a pop-up shop. I didn't make no money. He introduced me to a master jeweler, a white girl, his client's girlfriend. Me and her were on Melrose, getting deals and everything. We didn't make no money because that man put a spell on me, and his friend put a spell on her. The man friend called me a bitch. And the next thing I know, when we left him, he got into a severe car accident and totaled out her car. Totaled out her car. She gets the car back. He takes the car, rolling around with my jewelry. Some of my stuff gets messed up. And then her car gets taken again. And then I put two and two together and said, hey, you need to leave this girl alone and stop dealing with her because she's connected to him. And everything that I had tried to do did not work. Nothing was working. I was not financially, it wasn't popping financially. Everything I tried to do he cursed it. He cursed it. I was posting stuff. He was cursing it. I had to go black. I had to like go silent. That's why I'm now looking the way that I do. But anything that I posted on my social media that he got wind of, he cursed it. Him and Westbrook. So I had to move because Westbrook was still coming. He was still, you know, I told you, he told me that it was the fourth quarter, right? He said, I'm not done. This is the fourth quarter. So I am on Instagram, right? I'm on Instagram. I'm scrolling Instagram. There's a Spirit Airlines situation where this lady is cussing the Spirit Airline man out, disrespecting him and everything. And I was like, I don't watch this mess. I'm finna turn it. And the Holy Spirit said, I want you to watch this. And I was like, Lord, why? I don't want to see this. I don't watch fight stuff. You know, I'm looking for something. That's why my eyes are down. So hold on for a second. So the Holy Spirit was like, no. I need you to watch this. Just watch it. And I'm like, Lord, why? It was Westbrook. The lady, I guess he was with her, that assaulted the Sprint Airlines guy. And Westbrook decided to get in the middle and defend this woman. And I was like, what? This is in the Dallas airport in 2022. And I just came back from Jamaica. I was gone for almost 7 months in Jamaica. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm lighting the comments up. I'm like, this dude is a rapist. He raped me, blah, blah. Because people in the comments is like, this dude is, they're like, this dude, what is he doing? And all this stuff. And this dude is from Texas. He got on Nipsey Hussle shirt. Like, he from Cali. Like, he from Inglewood. And I'm lighting the comments up. I'm like, this dude is a stalker. He's coming back to stalk me, everything. And a couple of people were saying stuff. This one girl, I had her send me photos and screenshots because she was like, this dude is a lame. And so I DM'd her and I told her what happened. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you went through that. And I asked her to send me, you know, any screenshots that she had as well, because I was going to give it to the authority because I knew that this man was on his way out here. Okay. Hold on. Can y'all see that? Spirit Airlines employee and passenger get into heated passenger Dallas Fort Worth airport. The one in the blue shirt, that's Westbrook. Hold on. Hold on. See that? You see how he got that Nipsey Hussle shirt on? First of all, he is not even from Texas. He's from Alabama or Arkansas. But his family is now residing in Texas. And that's where he was at the Dallas Fort Worth airport, coming to stalk me. Okay? This was, hold on. This was 7/11/2022. Okay. The next day, I go to my local store and she says, I got a surprise for you. I said, what surprise you got? She said, he came up here because she know who he is. She said he came up here. Hold on. she said he was looking for you, and he's crying, saying she won't want to have nothing to do with me. Last time I tried to come over there, she wouldn't even answer the door. I had to put a ring on my door, and because I got the ring specifically because of him and his baby mama. Before this happened, though, when my bonus mom was still, my father's wife, she ain't no mama to me. My father's wife, he had called me. He called me before he even came out here. This was probably 6 months before this happened. Well, this is what happened the next day when she said, I got a surprise for you. Them ain't my fingers. You see them white fingers, them clear fingers. She's holding her phone up so I can take the picture of him. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Hold on. See that? Hold on. Can y'all see it? I don't know. Okay, there it goes. So this was the next day after that Dallas incident. I have showed this to the police, and I have showed this to the FBI as well. So even before then, though, when I was engaged, I remember, I can laugh about it now. Excuse me, asking my fiance, could he help me put cameras up, because I bought these cameras so that I could get footage of Westbrook stalking me and take it to police. No, my fiance said, I ain't no snitch. I said, oh, you not? Well, you can get the fuck up. That's what you can do. You can pack your shit. Pack it up real nice and go. And that's how that went. Because what you're not finna do is have me being a sitting duck, and you're a man and you're my fiance, and you're not finna help me. But let me tell you what he did. I don't know if he did it or if it was a coincidence. But that cousin that he's screwing called right after I asked him to put those cameras up and said, oh my God, I need some counseling. And I believe probably was Westbrook, because what's the coincidence that some nigga from Texas that came out here and he's stalking her too, unless he told her that and they was just playing with my head. But either way, I was heated. Either way, he gonna say, where you at? I'm gonna pull up. You gonna pull up where? No, you gonna get your ass out of my house. You gonna pull up on her and beating your feet because you ain't got no car. So she must gonna pull up on you. I guess that's what's gonna happen. She gonna pull up on you and grab her kissing cousin, and you gonna here I come to save the day. That's what you gonna do. You Mighty Mouse. So I'm going back to where you came from, because you ain't welcome here. You ain't no man. You definitely ain't my man. If you can't protect me, what I need you for? Because that's pretty much the only reason why I need you. I needed you wanted you for companionship, but you seem to not even be able to take that job and do it well. So if you can't protect me, then what is the purpose? What is the purpose? He had deprived me from sex too. So I didn't understand what the purpose of him being with me were. So I was like, you got to go. You already messing up my self-esteem and everything. I remember seeing a young lady sitting outside in the car with her homegirl, eyes all sucking in, looked like somebody that sucked the soul out of her. And she kept telling me, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Do I know you? And I was like, no, baby, I don't know you. Then she kept trying to get me tell her my name. And I was just like, you have a great day. But it always stuck in the back of my mind that that's probably a woman that he done sucked the life off of. And it was. It was. So him and his cousin tag teaming each other and sucking the life out of people and all this stuff. It gets deeper than that, but that's that. And that relationship, you know, did more damage to me than, honestly, I would say the Westbrook situation, because this man attacked my looks, my features. Why do you think my face is beat? I ain't never wore makeup. I tried to wear makeup when I was in my teens and my grandmother forbade me. The most y'all will see me wear is, I have a lipstick line. I wear lipstick. You know, even before then, I started wearing loud colors and stuff. That's why I was like, when I seen Enoch's wife, I was like, child, please. This Negro done, he must be with the they clone Tyrone people, huh? Because he sure put out a clone to me. There was only be one Lekecia Marie, okay? You can't match my style. You can't match my flow. And what she doing now, me did in 1994. Bars. Bars. But I tell you what, all of the stuff that I went through, before I went to Jamaica, I went hunting. With a bat, some other things. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Hey, Mimi, I sure did. I went to that barbershop and I let it be known. Not only am I a woman of God, I'm a businesswoman. I'm running an empire. Y'all may not got nothing to lose, but I have a lot to lose. And if this shop didn't belong to you, best believe that rental would be right in this shop right now, because I would have ran through it like it was a damn tunnel. I also went hunting for Westbrook because the police had the nerve to call me and ask me, do I know where he is? I told them, do your job. I'm not on y'all payroll. Do your job. Because if I find him before you find him, it's going to be problems and repercussions. So I got on that plane that day. And when I got on that plane, I didn't even recognize my own self. I'm going to try to see. I doubt if I have any pictures, but I'm going to try to see if I can pull up a picture of how I looked. Hold on. I ended up finding my old phone when me and the last relationship was together, because I just really want you guys to see. Like, I didn't even recognize myself when I got on that plane. Like, I barely even made the flight because I was literally on the phone. Like, I changed my flight. I hop out. I was like with it. I was with it. I was at the airport, knucking and bucking at the airport at LAX. I wanted one more person to call me. I wanted an excuse for somebody to call me and say one more thing. And I was about to turn and burn LA to the ground. Inglewood to the ground. I was finna destroy it. And God said, go get your tail on that plane and go get you some rest and cool down. That's what I want you to do. Go cool yourself and let me handle this. And that's what I did. I cooled myself. I went to Jamaica. I got my head together. I prayed and I fasted. I still have my stylish gig, so I would fly back out here and everything. My brother was house sitting and stuff. And, you know, I just got myself together. I got myself together and went back to Jamaica for another 5 months. And then that's when we was getting EDD. And my EDD was starting to, like, dry up. Now, I knew all of the tithing that I was doing. I knew God had some money for me in the mail, but my brother, with his damn self, wasn't checking the mail like I was asking him to. So I had to fly all the way back out here to check my mail. And I had like at least 2 checks worth $700. And then I was pissed at him about it because I was just like, bruh, like, I told you to check the mail. So I went back and forth and everything. And then I came back out here. And then Westbrook showed back up. Not only that, when I was in Jamaica, the witch died. My father's wife died. I got wind that she died. And I was like, oh, the wicked witch is dead, huh? Because not only did she tell Westbrook baby mama about me and him, she was a catalyst for Westbrook even looking at me as prey. She told any and everybody in our community that I was a nymphomaniac. Where, mind you, I had just started having XCX again. I had been celibate for 6.5 years. I didn't break my celibacy until the beginning of 2019. And this started in the end of 2019. So you do the math. But before that, I basically had a chastity belt on. Wasn't nothing coming, going, wasn't nothing getting sniffed, nothing was happening. Okay? Nothing was happening. So, yes, I enjoyed myself when I let loose. But it wasn't with a whole bunch of multiple men and all of that stuff. I had somebody that I was running from anyway. And I went back to that because it was good. I wouldn't have been running from it. So I went back to that, but I had to dump him because, like I said, I was at the top of my career doing Super Bowl and Grammys, and he was trying to play with my head. And I was like, boy, you a boy. He 10 years younger than me. I was like, you a little boy playing little boy games, and I'm a grown woman doing big woman things. And since you can't handle me, then I'm going to have to let you go. And that's what I did. I let him go. So I don't have time to be playing around with men and things like that. You know, I'm not one, even though I am, you know, I used to be freer with my body and my intimacy and stuff like that, because I think that had to do with a lot of what happened to me early on, being touched at 2 and all of this stuff. But, you know, it's like, that's fine. You know, I don't cry over spilled milk, but what I will not have is anyone disrespecting me or my body or thinking they have autonomy over my body. I have autonomy over my own body, rights over my own body. I can, you know, share my body with whom I want to share my body with. But me living under a certain way, being a woman that loves God so much, a lot of times I want to please God more than I want to please myself or please a man. And that's why I say a man, there's nothing that a man can provide for me that God can't. Yes, God can't have intimate sex with me. But a lot of times, the intimate sex is just a small, minute part of you wanting a mate. You want a mate so that you can be able to just have everyday conversations with. You want a mate that you can grow with, that you can grind with, that you can create a life with. You want a mate that you can do things that you've never done on this planet. You know, manifest things together as far as fasting and talking about things, writing it down and seeing them win and you win. You want a mate that's going to celebrate you just as much as you celebrate yourself and just as much as you celebrate them. You want the reciprocity. So if I'm not getting the reciprocity, then what am I even in a relationship with you for? And at this point, you know, good sex is good sex, great sex is great sex, but you can only have sex for so long. Also, he slacked off with his sex. He was giving me 4 hours, baby. I was good to go. He started giving me Chinese food sex 30 minutes to an hour. I was like, oh, you got to get that out of here. That's garbage. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Step your game up. You've been stepping your game up. You gonna give me Chinese food? XCX? Oh, they ain't gonna. I'd rather, I can do Chinese food XEX with myself. You better eat your Wheaties, drink your ginseng, do your jumping jacks, and step in line and fall in line like you've been stepping in line and falling in line. And you 10 years younger than me, so there should be no reason why you ain't up to your vigor, young man. So, you know, but one thing you're not gonna do too is play in my face when I'm at the top of my career and you texting me trying to, basically track what I'm doing throughout the day, texting me, asking me certain questions and all that stuff. You just hindering my life. I don't need that. I was gonna fly him to Jamaica and have a good little time with him. My daddy was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "This is for me. This ain't got nothing to do with him. I wanted to experience my two favorite things and have a good nice time in the rain in Jamaica, and then eat some beef patties and cocoa bread afterwards, honey, and some Appleton rum. Yes, baby, that would have been a time." But he didn't know how to, you know. So I was like, okay, I'll just go on by myself, and that's what I did. So that's what the abuse was. The abuse was so much more. The second time around with the guy that was engaged, because he really wanted to sacrifice me to get his career going. And it was like, my dude. And you're not even like, this dude told me all this stuff about himself. And then when I talked to his brother's just randomly just having a conversation with me. And I was like, what? I said, your brother told me that about himself. And he was like, that ninja be lying. Everything he be saying, that's all my life. And I was like, so I'm just dating a ghost? I was like, so I was dating a whole ghost? Like, ninja, who are you? I know you love you love the cousin. I know you in love with your cousin. Y'all, he told this girl to come up to Leimert Park. If anybody ever know LA or Inglewood or whatever, Leimert Park. Leimert Park is a historical landmark area where we go. And Terrace Martin and a lot of different people, even Kendrick Lamar, Issa Rae, a lot of people use Leimert Park for a lot of different things. And this is where we go and have our urban stuff. I've even had my second fashion show was on Leimert Park, like dope stuff. So we went to go hear music, and I'm changing in the car. I'm changing into, I had on, when I went into his shop, I had on heels and a nice little outfit. On the way, I'm driving, literally, hand me my shoe, babe. I'm putting on sweatpants, sweatshirt. His cousin was looking stupid. She still had on heels, didn't have on the right jacket. She cold, and he was telling her, don't you look stupid? Now he attacking her. Now he's doing the things that he was doing to me to her. So they standing there looking screw face because I'm busting a wine, enjoying myself. And then SZA came on. SZA come on. They looked at each other and smiled and started singing to each other. I said, I'll be gone. These ninjas in love with each other, like in love with each other. I just want y'all to understand, two grown adults that are family members are getting it and knocking the boots with no shame in their game. With no shame in their game. And I was appalled. I was like, are you serious? Now, I know I went through some stuff with my cousin. I was two. Okay? I was 2. Thank you, Blue. I was 2 years old. I didn't let that stuff go on till I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Definitely not till adulthood. I know it's kids. I know it's kids. Sometimes, you know, you explore. You explore yourself. You might explore your cousin or somebody that was around. If y'all the same age, I'm not talking about no older cousin doing this to a younger cousin. I'm talking about y'all being the same age, probably exploring yourselves or talking about stuff y'all have no business talking about or whatever. But I guess that happened and they just never stopped. So what was that to do with that? And then on top of that, I've been praying for this boy's family for 15 years. I would have never, ever had my first fashion show had his uncle not suggested it. I met his cousin because I got commissioned to do work for his cousin as a stylist and a fashion designer. So all y'all know y'all cousin smashing. His brother tried to act like he didn't know. His brother tried to act like he didn't know. He tried to call somebody. He probably was calling him like, nigga, she know. Yeah, the Westbrooks. Yep. And he's very proud of his name, honey. He's proud of that Westbrook name. But let me tell you something. I saw my younger cousin that knows Russell in Home Depot the other day. And I'm going to go and talk to my cousin because I'm going to tell him to ask Russell, do he know this dude? And if he don't know this dude, I'm going to tell him to tell Russell, you better, y'all clan better find him because he's giving y'all family a bad name. He's out here raping females and doing all kind of stuff. So have at it. But yeah, so, you know, that is what I've gone through up into this point. I moved. I left my whole apartment. I had to basically leave half of everything. I threw away sewing machines, vintage sewing machines. One in particular that my son's grandmother gave me. And it was a pivotal moment for me too, because at this time I had purchased a vehicle and the vehicle was no good and I had to junk it. And I was so sad and I was just like, what am I going to do, Lord? And then I guess I went on YouTube to watch some gospel music to kind of soothe my soul. And I saw a young lady. Her name was Tamisha Ridge. And she was sewing. And so I was like, oh, I can do that. And I got on my sewing machine and I started sewing. And I haven't stopped since. It wasn't my instructors that motivated me to really sew. Some of my instructors can't stand me because they're little hats, you know, and other nationalities. But I do have some great instructors that are there for me. But I'm just saying, some of the ones, like, they don't rock with me like that. So anyway, yes, Blue. But yes, it's supposed to be his uncle. Yes. But Russell, my younger cousins, played sports, and my cousins grew up with him. So yes. Blue, my younger son's grandfather, who my younger son is named after, he played for the Harlem Globetrotters and for the Lakers. His name is Joel McCoy Ingram. Look him up. My son's name is McCoy Ingram. So anyway, yeah, you know, so I had to move. I had to also go buy a blicky because Westbrook is not playing, and neither am I. And the police won't do nothing, and the FBI won't do nothing. So like I told both of them, the FBI and the police, if I find him before you do, it's going to be trouble, in my Bernie Mac voice. It's going to be trouble. I'm in therapy. I take medicine that I shouldn't have to take because of sick-minded men that have abused me, including my father. I've done work on myself. I have been in therapy. I've taken the what do you say, accountability for myself. I knew that I shouldn't have dealt with that whisper dude, but at the same time, sorry, I'm fixing my hair, guys. At the same time, I felt like, what choice did I have? Nobody was going to be there to protect me. So what choice did I really have but to deal with Westbrook and to get into something with him?
Right. So she's not saying the basketball player Westbrook, his uncle.
Yeah.
I was just trying to clear that up for Blue because he's like, was it? Wait a minute.
No, honestly, Blue, I don't think Russell Westbrook has anything to do with it. I think this dude is a liar. I think that if he is part of the Westbrook clan, he's the lowest of the lows of the Westbrook. I'll say that. He might very well be. It's gonna come out. It's about to come out. Like, I didn't see my cousin for nothing. Like, I did not see my cousin for nothing. And it was so crazy because going into that Home Depot, I said, I'm gonna either see my family or I'm gonna see my daddy. I was trying to run into my daddy, not my biological father, you guys. My biological father got unalived by his wife's son, and he thought that was justice for his mother, because he feels like I unalived his mother by the words that I spoke to her for telling her to keep my name out of her mouth. And so he OD'd my father, shot him up with heroin, and had my bio father rotting up under me in my apartment. So he did something with the wife.
Did you find your father like that, or did you look? Were you to discover?
I knew what had happened. My father had come to the house. My father had gotten sick, and he went up to the hospital and got some money from my father. Well, he took my father's whole card, and my father gets disability, and stuff for the veterans and stuff, right? Because we talked about this. He took all of my father's money like his mother used to do. And so my father, after he got out of the hospital from open heart surgery, came over to our place and was knocking at his door. And I was mad because my father always does stuff like that. And it'd be like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then he don't just leave it at knocking on the door downstairs. Then he started calling up to me, Boo! Lekecia! It could be middle of the day. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's how he's addressing me. And I've always told my father, you never raised me like that. So can you please walk up my stairs and knock on my door like a civilized human being? And when you don't do that, I just open my window and look at him like he's stupid. And then he'd be like, girl, don't da-da-da-da-da. And I'd just be like, whatever. And then if you get too out of hand, and I'll be like, if you start acting like my father, I'll treat you like my father. But right now, you're acting like a madman, so I'm not going to talk to you. And I'll shut my door, my window, and then he'll be like, bitch. My father will call me a bitch in a minute.
Wow, but he's passed on.
Yeah, the dude killed him. Unalived him, sorry. He was almost like a Jeffrey Dahmer type of thing. He was breeding dogs. And I noticed that it started being a stench of death. And then I didn't hear the dog, see the dog. And right before then, something happened. He had something horrible in there. His son's kid's mother and his kids was in the house. Soon as whatever it was that they saw, they shot out the front door and the back door. All I heard was yelling and pandemonium, screaming, chaos. And he was like, oh, man, you tripping. It ain't even that bad. And his son, he was like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then he left because she was screaming. She didn't even bring the kids back inside or nothing. And he was like, you stupid ass bitch. And so he left. Then I didn't see the only one that I saw after that, Genesis, was the little boy, his son, that said it wasn't that bad. I did not see the baby mama or the rest of his kids after that. Then the dog situation comes. Hold on. Then Then I started seeing, I didn't see the dog. I started smelling death. And the same thing with my dad. My dad came over. He was knocking at his door. The Holy Spirit told me, go say something to your father. I go down there to say something to my father. My father is nowhere to be found. Next thing I know, I start smelling death again, because what I told you with the dog situation, when I stopped smelling death, one of like the dog cages, that you have dogs in, it was outside in the alley. And the same thing with my dad. After I started smelling that stuff and I didn't see my dad no more, and nobody knew what my dad was. None of my family knew what my dad was. My sisters didn't know what my dad was. And then a hospital bed got thrown out because my dad mail and his hospital stuff and VA stuff always came to either upstairs where I live, which I told him time and time again to transfer that stuff downstairs because that's where him and his wife lived, right? So his wife had already had that hospital bed in there for my dad. So I guess he had my dad drugged up, knocked out, and gone out of here. And he threw him out at the hospital, and they had my dad as a John Doe. My dad never goes anywhere without his identification. Had him as a John Doe. They called and said, I forgot. I guess my sister, somebody, I don't even know. I think they called me. And they said that he was there as a John Doe. And then I told my sister, and then that was even weird because my sister was like, my younger sister, she was like, yeah, Brady, which is the guy, and he was my neighbor before. Like, my dad married his mother, but this guy was my neighbor when I moved into my apartment. And I had a boyfriend already from Rolling 60s when I moved into that apartment. He wasn't my boyfriend. He was like my little sneaky link, without the sneaky. But he was a like gangster. Like, this dude, you didn't F with this dude. You understand what I'm saying, Genesis? Like, you did not F with this dude. Like, he was Belizean too. He was Belizean as well. But like, he was from Rolling 60s, and like, you didn't mess with him and his crew. He also ironically was in the movie with Tommy the Clown that they did with the crunk dancing and all that. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, but he was in that. He was one of the crunk dancers. He was one of the first crunk dancers that Tommy had, him and his homeboy, El Nino. So his name was Swoop. And that was the guy that I was messing around with. So when I got my keys on Valentine's Day, and I was just in a mood, I guess I felt lonely. So I picked Swoop up, and I grabbed my keys, and I told him, I was like, babe, I want to show you my new place. And as soon as he saw it, he was like, you live here? He was like, my homeboy Brady live here. So he jumped out and knocked on my neighbor's door, which ended up ironically years later being my brother, because our parents married each other. But yeah, so that's how I knew him. I knew him because the guy that I was dating from 60s, this dude is also from 60s, but they went to school together. They grew up together. Like, I grew up in Compton, in LA, some Inglewood, some Long Beach, but they grew up in Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? So even though we still grew up in LA and the environments and stuff like that, but it's still different parts of the cities. You understand? So, yeah, so that was my boo. Like, he was just gangster. He was real with me. Like, even when, because I met him when I was separated from my husband. As soon as I separated from my husband, I started going out more. I would go to the reggae clubs. He was in the reggae club. He came in there dancing, busting a wine. That's how we connected. And we just used to dance, but I really liked him. And he was just a cute chocolate thing. And I was just like, oh my God, I gotta have him. And so I would be like, I want you. And he'd be like, no. And he'd be like, anyway, if I do get with you, you ain't gonna be going to no clubs because my girl don't go to no clubs. So I was like, I remember one time me and my friend went to this reggae concert, and he was there, and it was my girlfriend, my actual girlfriend. I be having some bad girls. She was banging, and she was like, she told me that you don't want to be her man. And he was like, you ain't got nothing to do with this. He was like, just step down. And then he was telling me, he was like, so you call yourself telling on me? He was like, that's just gonna not make me be with you even more, because like I do what I want to do. So I learned very quickly to just let him be. And by that, I got the best out of him, where even him being the hardest gangster, you know, he would tell me he loved me and we would express ourselves to each other and all that stuff. And he made sure that I was okay, you know. I didn't realize though, honestly, dealing with him, I put my life in danger a lot. I put my life in danger a lot dealing with him, driving him around, picking him up whenever, you know, he would show up at my house at 3 o'clock in the morning. He was the only man that could show up at my house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would let him in or get up out of my bed and take him wherever he needed to go. For one, he was such a gentle soul and sweet soul that I never wanted anything to happen. He was younger, and he had so much potential. Like, he had so much potential, and I just wanted to keep that as long as I possibly could. But he passed away. He passed away right when my other ex that rapped with Tone, they're both Belizean. They passed away at the same time. So I lost both of them at the same time. Wow. And I miss my babies. I miss them. But yeah, so me having these relationships with other men that cherish me, even the gangster ones, and don't put me in harm, going into stark relationships with these men that have abused me and sexually and otherwise, has really done a number on me, to the point where basically 4 years later, I'm rebuilding my life.
So, like, do you see that could you tie a lot of the things that you've been through, the fact of where you were at in Los Angeles and like that LA kind of like Compton kind of that area where it's kind of like, it seems like a lot of like crazy stuff happens there, you know?
No, it's people, it's situations. Stuff happens, crazy stuff happen everywhere. But I mind my business. That's why I was like devastated, because I was in that community for 16 years. Besides me like having a little arguments with my men and stuff like that or whatever, and you know, probably kicking them out, I didn't have no problems in my community or nothing like that. That's why I let loose on that predator, because I was like, you came into my community. I was let down. I felt let down by my community too, because we talked about any and everything. We watched out for each other all the time for 16 years. And then they got so blindsided, because I didn't know a lot of them were taking drugs. I didn't find that out until he came into the picture, because he was their candy man in one way or the other. So a lot of those women was mad because I was seeing him, Westbrook. They was mad because I was getting the eggplant. And they was mad because I was stopping them from outwardly enjoying their pleasures of being high out of their mind on crack that I wasn't supposed to know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people.
Was he messing around with all those girls as well? Because you know, drug dealers, they usually like mess with. Yeah. I mean, thank God you didn't catch any, you know, STDs.
Yeah, I like, because I was going back and forth like to the doctor already, like, because you know I was being active and stuff like that, and I was on campus going to the doctor and stuff like that, because we have at my college we have doctors and nurses and stuff like that on campus. And then even after that, like right before COVID happened, but then like let me see, I think a few times before then, but definitely like after then, I definitely like was getting checked up and checked out and all this stuff. Yeah, especially because that Westbrook had me doing some wild stuff. I was sleeping with other men because he wanted to have a threesome with 2 men and me, and that had always been my fantasy. I had told Enoch that was my fantasy like years. Somebody pissed off. I guess Westbrook pissed off in the spirit, because this damn marriage just fell over for no reason. Anyway, be mad.
So is he still stalking you now?
Yes. That's why I told you I'm kind of nervous about how I'm gonna come to see you. Because you saw the airline thing, Genesis. And I was like, I know that he was coming back out here to stalk me, but like I don't know who he knows and where. And I know how he.
What other kind of ways have he stalked you even to this day? Like what kind of things is he doing recently?
He was having his baby mama look at my business page. I ended up blocking her. And he's still going to the local store, leaving his number. I didn't even show y'all the number because I took the number, but then I tore it up. Because with him, we trauma bonded so much. And I could see, even though he was doing certain stuff, I don't know, it was just like, I just kind of felt like, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I know how to explain that. The eggplant was good, and that's all I wanted. But it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do you say, okay,
yeah, all crazy dudes eggplant be good though.
Right. Yeah, it was good.
So, but like, what about the authorities? What happened when you tried to let the authorities?
Girl, they called me. My baby daddy, my older son's dad, just so happened to come to my house, and I thought it was my brother talking to my ex-fiance's brother because he was at my house, and because I had let him stay because he had went to Texas. My fiance's brother had went to Texas, moved to Texas. He said he wasn't coming back to Cali or whatever. He was starting all over. So I knew that from when I was with him. Next thing I know, I go to the store to get me a drink, and he's complimenting on me on my hair, and he was like, "You should go to my brother. My brother's a barber." And I was like, "Is his name Tarico?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm his effing fiance," and da 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 da, blah blah blah. And I was like, "What are you doing out here anyway? You're supposed to be in Texas." So then that's when he got on the phone because I started running down everything. And that's when I said he got on the phone and was like, "Hey, is she and Reek?" Da, 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 da. And that's why I said he probably was talking to him like, "Hey, your girl is talking. I'm talking to your girl right now," like in code somewhat. I feel like that's what that was about. Because who the hell was he talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that particular day, the police called me. I had went down there, did a whole nother police report about the bape and the assault with the baby mama. They had her. I was able to pinpoint her out. They don't got no traces of Westbrook. That's why I say that's probably not even his name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done my due diligence and I've researched, and as far as I know, it is him. But at the same time, the Westbrooks are so big, and then a lot of people are narcissistic. They name their kids and their grandkids the same effing names over and over again. My grandfather included. I got 3 aunties named Beverly. The hell? By the same man. That's like George Foreman naming all his sons George. So
yeah, did he have like a Facebook or anything like that? Like, did he have any like social media with name on it?
Yeah.
And it had that name?
Yeah. I showed it to the police, Genesis. I did my due diligence. Even when the FBI came out here and asked me about something that didn't have nothing to do with that, I told them and I showed them. Even when I came back from Jamaica this last time, my neighbors had told me that he was hanging out at this damn Dollar General parking lot, and she always saw him there. So I made it my business to go to that particular Dollar General and tell them, show them his picture and say, "This man is hanging out in this parking lot. He is a vapist, and he is probably an pedophile, and he's sitting in this parking lot and has no business sitting in this parking lot every single day." And that was just down the street and around the corner from my house. My neighbors were calling me all the way up until they moved. And right before I moved, saying that he was sitting outside my house, my apartment, looking up in my bedroom for 25 to 45 minutes every day. Even when I was engaged to the other guy, he was doing that. That's why I asked my fiance to help me put up the cameras. And that Negro said, "I ain't no snitch." But when the kissing cousin called him right after that and said, "Hey, this ninja is out here stalking me. We didn't already told him. We didn't already capped at him." And I, like I said, I feel like that was Westbrook too. I don't know. Because how is it a coincidence that a guy, unless my ex fiance wanted to try to like mess with my head or something and text her and told her to call and say that so he can try to act like he was going to rescue her instead of rescuing me. I don't know. All I know is that itch called right after I told him that. He said he wasn't no snitch, and here he come wanting to say today like he was Mighty Mouse, or should I save her? I want to be saved. Ninja, you ain't E40, and we ain't in a Bay Area. I don't like when I have to be a man in my relationship. I gotta save myself.
So basically, what's going on right now with your life? Where are you at?
I am right now I'm building my life back up. I'm in therapy. I have a psychiatrist, I have a therapist. I do therapy every week. I am involved in everything that we do here online. I'm curating all of my social media platforms except for my Facebook pages. And I really am not on Instagram too much, and that's because I know that my business page is open, and that means that he and my other ex, my ex fiance, they can, they can follow me, they can harass me, all that stuff. Now my regular page is private, but as far as like my other stuff, like I'm starting to get trolled on my page, on my pages and stuff like that, and all of that or whatever.
You think that's him like sending out these
Yeah.
troll things?
Yeah. Because ain't nobody been messing with me. But now that I got this makeup on and I've been having my hair done and, put my wigs on and stuff like that. Yeah, somebody said, come get your nana. They called me a nana. Then I blocked them, said a little bit, respond to it. Not too much, just kind of clowning. I made some music to it. Thank you, and Sugar, for teaching me how to make music, honey. I've been expressing myself all through the music, making banging songs, honey. I started writing rhymes when I was with Tarico. I wrote the beginning of the song is called "You're a Fake, You're a Fraud." So it's called "You're a Fake, You're a Fraud, You're a Phony. If I tried to cash you, you would bounce." So that's the premise of the song, and that's in the song. So yeah, I've just been writing music, but other than that, I bought an industrial sewing machine. Actually, when I got back into the country, I wasn't just not doing anything. I started doing my outfit of the days. I still had my stylist job, but I gave that stylist job back and told him to kiss my patootie, because a stylist and a seamstress and a fashion designer are different things. And if you want me for my stylist hat, then baby, you're going to have me for my stylist hat, okay? But when you give me that seamstress role, then you coming out at least $400 right off the bat. And if I'm in my designer role, you might be coming off some racks. Now, the agreement for the stylist gig was that I, as a stylist, wasn't going to have a budget as of right now until the group that we were working on, that Asian group that y'all saw, the girls, that is the group, until they blew up. And then after that, I would have my budget. And we was writing that out and all of that. He wanted to play me to the side and to the left and to the right. And I told him, absolutely not, sir. You're going to come off some money, and not only that, you're going to stop playing in my face. If you want me to be a seamstress, pay me my money. If you want me to be a stylist, I'll do what we've been doing. I've been flying back and forth out of the country, coming here. I had my assistants, even my brother and his girlfriend was helping. I had everything color coordinated. I told you my apartment was set up like a boutique. I had everything already, I'm in industry. And plus, before I even got to industry, when you're in fashion design school, when you're in programs for fashion design and fashion merchandising, you are literally working for your instructor. So this is how they teach you. When you go to Miss Lee's class, you are working for Lee's Industries. When you go to Miss Child's class, you are working for Child's Corporation. You get that? Yeah. And everything they teach you and everything you were taught, you are to do it accordingly. Like I said, my illustrator instructor, he owns half of Cross Colors.
Can we see some of your designs? Can we see some of your fashions?
Yeah, you have it, right? You want me to look it up on my phone? Because it'll be
Oh,
easier.
you don't have any of your clothes like set up or anything like that?
No, girl, didn't you hear me say I had to uproot my whole life?
Oh, so that means you don't even have any. Oh, wow.
I had to throw away so much stuff, 16 years of even my children's childhood, because of this Westbrook dude. I ain't worried about Tarico. He
So did you have to get rid of that because you had to hurry up and leave and move real fast, or why?
Yeah, and then the dude then smokes my father. Yes, between them two, and they was working in cahoots. I believe that the way that Westbrook got on the plane out here is because the brother neighbor sent him out here.
Wow. So you had to just leave everything behind. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know a thing about design. Like you got like certain like what's it called? Not tapestries, but like where you get certain.
I had 4 vintage sewing machines. I had 3 like sewing machines that I teach people how to sew. My baby, that I didn't throw that one away, but those sewing machines I had already, because of the relationship with Tarico and him talking about basically talking to me like I was a whore, a garden tool, sell all my stuff off and stuff. So what I ended up doing was I did sell my barber that I had, because he wasn't my barber. He just happened to be a barber that I started dating and got engaged to. But my barber that I had, his mother literally works in industry.
How many times have you been engaged? Wow, that's a beautiful dress. Wow.
I won 3rd place. I won an award, the gold thimble. We get gold thimbles for our graduating class. So that was the evening gown category, and I won 3rd place with that gown. I have been engaged a total of 4 times.
Wow.
Ironically, this is also me. This is at my pastor's house. These are MC Hammer pants. This is salt and pepper. Hold on, let me try that. Hold on.
Right, I know certain types of like materials that are hard.
This is sublimation. So,
right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, you know,
designers have like specific like things that they pay a lot of money to get done, and they have to throw all that away.
Just these pair of pants was $160. I was charging $160 because I didn't have the means to sublimate, right? So I had to outsource it. So because I had to outsource it, that meant that I had to pay somebody to do the job, to put the print on. So this is another one of my designs.
And all that stuff is gone. All those dresses that you had are gone.
Yep.
And have you made anything since
then? My step and repeat from, hold on, from this fashion show from the LA Fashion Week. It had my logo on it, and my business partner, there it goes. My business partner, see, all of those are MC Hammer pants. MC Hammer pants, MC Hammer pants. That says 80s. Hold on. This was an old.
Is this on your Instagram?
Yeah.
How do I get to your Instagram so we can show it? I can share the screen and show you.
It's Love Me More Designs. I thought Jackie put it in the chat, but I'm not sure if she did. Ugh. Hold on. Hey, with my phone.
So this is the level of design that she does.
No, that's not my design. That's a shirt I thrifted. But that top that y'all just seen, no, Go. It'll be better, I think, if you do my highlights. Just the highlights. If you go up, yeah. So those are crowns. That's some of my jewelry. That's some more of my jewelry. Those are crowns that I designed. That is
Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty cool. I like that.
That was in representation for my bonus mom that worked for Mattel, because all that hard work that I did, Genesis, and sometimes I didn't pass my classes when I was supposed to. My bonus mom that got taken off this planet, she used to work for Mattel. So when I found out that our theme was Barbie, that was like God vindicating me, you know?
Well,
So
that's pretty cool what you made. You made this by hand?
yeah. We had to that was one of our class projects. So that was our theme. So, and that's the Super Bowl. That's the little girls. You see Jennifer Lopez in the middle.
And she was one of the designers for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, those white shorts that the babies are wearing, that's what my hands touched and created. I also did that. That was for my graduating class. I made that. That's one of my models, and she was like, I had to have it. If you go to this right here, that Nipsey Hussle thing right there, play that a little bit. You can don't play the music, but just play the video.
I don't. There's no video to it.
Yeah, if you go up there to the top, this is what I did in dedication to Nipsey Hussle. This was on the roof of my school. I made this. I did all of that. That's all me.
So you sewed up made the sweatshirts.
Yeah, we had to do it for fashion merchandising. We had to do a commercial, and I asked them did they mind. That's me right there. If we did a commercial for my business, and they said yeah. So I did that, and my classmates, we all had to help. She brought her glasses. She did those glasses. I did the clothes, and my other classmate edited the video. And this is something that I want to tell y'all too. A lot of other nationalities will have, that's my logo, will have different ideas about us. He wanted us to be like fighting like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. I said, boy, we finna rep Nipsey. Nipsey just passed, and he leaked that before he was supposed to. And Nip's camp, that girl got free merch from him. It was about to be a whole war because that Filipino man thought that it was going to be, he wanted something ratchet to go on. And I told him, them 60s will hurt you, especially over Nipsey. So all this is my stuff. That's one of my models. That's during the LA Fashion Week. That's some stuff I was selling. That's still models. This next one, that's the same things that the models had on for the LA Fashion Week, old to Run DMC, women empowerment. These are clothes that I was selling out of my boutique. That's something like if I'm styling for my clients, that's a kid and play bodysuit that I did for LA Fashion Week. This is vintage fabric that elder at the church gave me, and her mother used to sew, so I made that. That's a crew neck. She hustles harder. These are designs. Then we do baby stuff, or I do baby stuff. So that's the next couple of things for the babies. Oh, that's for the babies.
So have you do you have a website where you could even still sell some of these designs?
You can click on, go out of that. Click right there.
So you guys, please support Lekecia and her business, because
if you click on it, Genesis, so they can see when they click on it. It didn't do anything.
Have you been focusing? Oh, I'm sorry.
So
So definitely support her. Have you been more focused on the jewelry now?
I just bought a whole bunch of jewelry that I'm finna start making. I went to the crystal place and I bought a whole bunch of crystals and stuff like that, so you guys can get new stuff. But I still have a lot of that stuff available, and that's my lipstick line right there. Those are earrings. Of course, that says Black Lives Matter. It's wired wrap with turquoise. These are pendants. That is a crown. That's no longer available. I need to take that off my site, but that's me modeling the crown in my old place. And that is a cross. It's called Sweet Peace. And that's my lipstick line. I did have to do some work on that site because I couldn't get the sizes off of there. I don't know why it has the sizes on there. Maybe I put it on something wrong. I don't know. But you can still order off of there. You can see the mission statement. Go down to the mission statement. And it tells you about our mission statement, my mission statement. And then if you go down, I have a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. And if you go down a little bit more, it tells you about me. And it gives you a way you can contact me, and also has a mailing list and all of that, email list that you guys can do and all of that. So what were you asking me? My plans for the future is I would love to get some land because I want a creative collective. I would love to have 3 collectives in 3 different areas. One being here in Cali, one I talked to you, possibly Detroit, and then another one in Jamaica. I wanted at first to do Atlanta because Atlanta, I have clients out there, and Atlanta give you you see my hair. I love that hair. You can so yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to open up a sewing school, and I have my Love Me More Foundation. That's about domestic violence, being a voice for the voiceless, and also suicide. I love Phyllis Hyman, and Phyllis Hyman was under tremendous pressure from the industry, mainly Clive Davis and the men that she was dealing with. She gave up, and I was pregnant when she gave up, and I almost gave up.
The clothes that you wear, are those also your clothes that you have in these
I
pictures?
thrift a lot, so a lot of times you will see me in thrifted things. I don't spend. I'm very thrifty when it comes to frugal. When it comes to spending money, I like to take trips. I like to go visit people. I like to fly and take trips. So I go and I thrift. I have an Yves Saint Laurent hat that I got for $2.95. Those boots that I'm wearing right there, those boots I got they were $20. That hat was $2. Those pants was $1. That green sweater was $1. That
Yeah,
shot.
you know how to put things together really nice. Like
Mm-hmm.
your colors are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, and then also I had to take my everything back. I had to take my energy back because for Enoch to be disrespecting his wife and me, I already had a talk with him. See, when he came back into my life, when I asked God back for him and he called me, at first I was laying in the bed. I was like, oh my God, my best friend, I miss you. And then I woke up. I said, you was dead wrong for how you did things. And I didn't go off on him, but I just broke it down, and we talked his wife gave us space. We talked for a whole week. That's my truck. This was on my birthday. And that was
I like that shirt. Oh man, those boots are.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my place that I'm at now. That was at my psychiatry appointment. So I'm even getting the content, and even when I'm getting therapy, that is literally at my therapist appointment. So that's at the thrift store. I was getting ready
to have the hair matching.
That's the way. Go back to the white shorts. That is the Super Bowl shorts. Because we were documenting everything. That's my classmate. He got go back to that guy.
It's a video.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's
okay. Well, he got some stuff sent to Missy Elliott, and Missy Elliott didn't know that he was a designer, and he didn't get no props, and he didn't get paid for it. And he's going through a lot of mental issues. But I think I was telling y'all when my classmate was begging me to eat because Westbrook hadn't came home, he was the one that was right there telling me, Lekecia, please eat. You need to eat because we look out for each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all my jewelry. This is me thrifting, but showing off my stuff, you know, my outfit of the day. Some young guy was trying to clown on YouTube, calling me old and talking about my logo being Lola Bunny. And I went to the thrift store the next day and found that Lola Bunny outfit.
What other people have you designed for? Like
celebrities? YN Vaughn, she has written music for Kendrick Lamar. She went up for a couple of Grammys for To Pimp a Butterfly and some other stuff. She wears my jewelry a lot. I've designed for Vanessa L. Williams. I made a necklace for Sade and was able to have that hand delivered to her by her band member. This was when I was with this white Rasta dude, and we were looking at this place to sell stuff out of. And then we ended up in Venice Beach, and we started selling stuff at Venice Beach. But that's Guape. This is another designer. I went and spent hours in the museum to look and study her stuff because her stuff is fire. She does jewelry, shoes, and clothes just like I do. So I took my good camera and took a whole bunch of pictures.
Are you selling these nails, these like slanted nails?
No, it's just I always like to show off my nails. People are intrigued by my nails, and you can go on from that. That's just the same thing. I watched this other YouTuber, and she's in London, and she has her nails like this, a lipstick shape, and I fell in love with it. And yeah, so yeah, that was my birthday gear, that green.
That's nice. I like that shirt.
Thank you. That's a bathing suit. I've been wearing bathing suits as tops.
That. Hell, you couldn't tell. That's beautiful. Man, this fit right
That's
here.
My outfit right there. That was supposed to be.
That fit is off the chain,
isn't it? I found those things at 2 different times. Genesis. You see how God be blessing me? I just found those booties at separate times, and I did that dress. I put jeans on underneath because you see how where the dress stopped. I couldn't wear it as a dress, but that cape. I even found that cape at a separate time.
I would have had some fishnets.
I had a whole argument with a homeless man because I was standing right there trying to take my pictures, and he was arguing with me. He cussed me out.
You used to have some fishnets on with this.
I was going to get my feet done, so I was literally getting ready to go get my feet done. But I was like, because the sun was getting ready to go down, and also like I was trying to like. I would have wore that without. That was on Christmas. I was on my way to my daddy's house. My dad lives around the corner from there. Yeah, the peacocks. Yeah, so this is me just in my old place. This is my new place. This is me in Jamaica. Yeah, me in Jamaica creating. I was doing a stylist thing. I love being in Jamaica, man. And so that's what I did. They wanted us to do some futuristic stuff for 2050. And so I did it or whatever. And then
these boots are nice.
My ex that rap with Tone Loc, the Belizean one, he did those boots. I told him what I wanted. And that's what I say to the day he passed away. This is what he was doing for me. He was married and everything. I love his wife. Me and his wife rock hard now. But she knew that, he told me, he was like, my wife no, I love you. That's more of my jewelry. That's the LA Fashion Week. That's more jewelry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean to click off of it. Hold on.
It's okay.
This is your stuff on LA. Oh, yeah, that's your stuff.
Yeah. So that's one of the models. And I think she's wearing.
Have you ever tried out for like Project Runway?
Let me tell you. Project Runway is like Mattel and any other corporation. If you work for them, you are tied into a contract, meaning that whatever you create, even at your own home, even away, if you are with that company, they own your intellectual property.
Oh wow.
And when you are tied in Project Runway,
Even if you don't win?
Yes. They make you be tied in for 2 years. You cannot take no other work. And whatever you do, even if you doodling, if you sketching, if you create a piece of lint, they own it.
Oh, okay. So you tried out for it and they told you got you something.
No, because I've heard other people say it. So why am I gonna do it? Now I do understand, like my first lady,
bring you to the next level.
My first lady at my old church did say that, because she was like, even just the notoriety of it. The reason why I didn't do it was because of I don't sketch well. I took sketching so many effing times. I told you that's why my ex was helping me with my sketches, because I don't sketch well. I can look at this and be like, oh, this is about to be a bomb dress. This is about to be a bomb such and such. I can look at something else and be like, that's going to be some shoes, a piece of leather or whatever. But sketching is not my forte yet. And I was nervous because I didn't understand that they don't give a damn about that. They be hot gluing stuff. Our instructors instill so much perfection in us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how unprogrammed we had to get in order to make those damn Super Bowl shorts and get on point with that? Because we was in perfection mode. Right. And we didn't have time
for that. Hurry up and get it out the door, yeah.
Yeah, and we was doing this stuff for the Grammys at the same time.
I think that's kind of what Project One Rig could prepare you for, is to hurry up and get. You got 1 hour to do this. You know, you got 2 hours.
But at the same time on screen, they're like, go do your sketches. So what I'm gonna be doing when they telling me to do my sketches? Y'all gonna be like, this girl ain't gonna make it. Then y'all be looking like, I don't know, y'all. She ain't gonna make it. She gonna be the weakest link, not knowing how to tear some up behind.
It don't matter if you can't sketch.
But that's not the perception that they have, though, because they specifically say, okay, you got this amount of time to do your sketches, and then they show it, they film it. So that was my fear. Like, what everything else I can eat up. But what I'm gonna do when it comes down to that, and
that might be the story that pops out, that I might not be a good sketch artist, but hell, when I put it together,
that was why the one thing that makes you unique. Those were two things that I was pushing back about. Like, at first, I was, like I said, I really was scared about the sketching thing, and then I got over that, and then a lot of people that I know in the sewing community has started getting letters, especially one girl. She is phenomenal. She got a letter, and she was the first one to push back and said, no, I do too. She in New York. That girl make bank all year round. And she was like, I don't need them. And that's what a lot of us say. We don't need them. Now, I understand the notoriety of it all, but at the same time, if you are taking my intellectual property that I've fought so hard to have my autonomy over, then I don't want to be a prisoner to you just to say I'm on TV and I was on Project Runway. My blessings are going to be my blessings. That's like when that one girl that I know was like, oh, if Beyonce I don't give a damn about Beyonce seeing my stuff. Now, Sade, when I made Sade that necklace in 2016, I was working the pose, honey.
Have you been to the magic show? Have you been to the magic show?
No, because you got to have money. I was the one and only time I was going to go to the magic show. I was an intern. I had got internship on my own when we went on the field trip, and my instructor got pissed off, and I didn't care. But I was doing so much good work that the Asian people that were running the place, they were like, don't, because I was getting ready to go to Jamaica, and they was like, if you don't go to Jamaica and you hold off, we'll fly you to Jamaica. We want you to go to Magic. And I was like, okay. But then my uncle had passed away, and they couldn't even give me a day. And I was like, F this. My uncle passed away. Like, do you not understand when someone passed away? Like, but a lot of cultures, they don't really work like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? The dead is dead. They hurry up and bury the dead, and then life goes on. But this was like one of my favorite uncles that passed away, and he passed away senselessly, and I had to take a moment. And then on top of that, I told you my little hat teacher don't like me at the school. So that day that they was pressuring me, my classmate, which she's a Capricorn, her birthday is the same day as my birthday. She came in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom on the phone with the people, you know, and she said, Lekecia, excuse me, hold on. She said, I think it was my classmate Ricky. She was like, Ricky called and said, you better come up to the school because they finna clean out your locker. Mind you, I ain't had no locker. I used to have a suitcase. We had suitcases that we would roll with our fashion design stuff. I didn't have no locker. So I was like, what locker? I don't have no locker. They was trying to expel me. For what? I don't know. I know because I'm a light. They don't like it, especially the little hat lady, because she knew I was a Sabbath keeper. So, because she a little hat, she was offended. I remember talking about how I wanted to invest in certain stocks because of the industry that we're in. I thought it just made sense to invest in the stuff that you're going to be using often, especially being a designer, you know? Don't that sound about right? It sounds right to me, you know? If I'm a designer, I want to invest in cotton. I want to invest in leather. I want to invest in, you know, what other mediums I'm using. Because I'm going to be using it, and the rest of the industry is going to be using it. So that means the stock's going to be going up, especially depending on what type of fad, new fashion forecasting we're going into. I want to be on top of that. And she shot it down. But yet, before Starbucks was even like popping, she had stock in Starbucks and all that stuff. But she shot my stuff down.
So once a designer, always a designer. 2024 into 2025. Have you been able? Did you think about what your fall line is and start putting together that, like, start to make something to bring? Because since you're restarting, have you considered?
No, because this is what happened. Let me tell you something. When Black Panther came out, I was pissed off because one of the jewelry designers in Black Panther, not only was I pissed off about that, but also right before Black Panther came out, what's the lady? The lady, Ruth Carter, my instructor from Cross Colors, was honoring her. And every single first Friday, we have a collective and it's called War. We Are Relevant, right? And we go to his what is it called? His showroom in downtown LA by the Calmart, that's where all of anybody has their designs in these showrooms. The one by my school and the one by the one where he has his showroom. Anybody, when I say anybody, I mean Louis, Gucci, Baby Fat, Fat Form, Sean John, all of them have a showroom in these two places. There's no way around it. You have to have your stuff in one of these two places because that's where the buyers come. So we would go there and we would have these meetings supposed to be keeping us relevant, but is basically like a test study on us, on our fresh brains to redo his cross color company and his brand to make it more relevant today. But I didn't mind. She didn't mind because we're in there getting the information. First of all, I grew up on Cross Colors. She's from Northern California. I think she kind of did too, but I know I definitely did. I grew up on Cross Colors, Carnai. We had Jabos and some other, it was Desi Wear out here for Cali. I used to work for Desi Wear. Desi Wear was just like almost like a knockoff version of Carl Kanai and Cross Colors, but it was really popping, and I used to work for them. So at some point, I knew I guess I was going to be a designer of some sort. I just didn't know what. I wanted to be an actress, but my grandmother told me no. So the only way that I ended up in fashion design school is because I was working at Ashley Stewart, and those plus size women was looking at me crazy, like, what are you doing working here? And I was like, girl, I'm pretty sure you make way more money than me. Let's switch. You can work in here and I can get your job. And because at that time I was working 3 jobs. I was working at Ashley Stewart. I was working in by UCLA, in Westwood. I was an operator, but I also was a nanny. And this lady, she had a hospitality company where basically she people can hire sous chefs and, you know what I'm saying, all these type of hospitality people to come to your house, and you have parties, dinner parties, and they serve the people and all that. And so I watched her child while they did that. That was a little space. And then I was doing security too. So I, was over it. And then I used to have these boots when I first started going to school, and they broke. And then I found out we had a shoe design course, because I started going for fashion merchandising because I already had a company, with my jewelry, and I wanted to know how to bring in sales and to do marketing. But then I found out that we had a shoe and handbags course, and I tried to take merchandising and design, but the chairman, Miss Anderson, she was like, you have to choose one. At that time, they did not allow us to take anything other than fashion design. They considered mixing fashion design and fashion merchandising a no-no. They felt like those were two different fields. So I had to sneak my classes in with with fashion merchandising in order to kind of meet neck and neck. I still have to go back and finish up 3 classes for my merchandising class before I graduate. I've graduated with my certificate in fashion design, but I have to go back and finish getting my AA in fashion design, my AS in fashion merchandising, and my AA in gemology.
So that's what you're doing now. You're like in school at the moment.
I'm finding a disability case because I have literally that that commercial that you saw when we was dancing on the rooftop. I almost jumped off of that rooftop.
Wow.
Because I was working on campus and my boss was harassing me, and I had got into a little relationship with the guy that was just coming in and getting tutored, and he started working there, and he was screwing my boss's protege, and my boss was taunting me and teasing me. They were taunting me. When I got back from Jamaica, they was him and the girl was kissing. So I just started making shirts, to like express myself, say little stuff like no F boy zone. I made like a bodysuit that said no F boy zone. I was just saying all kind of stuff with my chest, like anything I wanted to say, because I wasn't finna mess up my bag. I would sit at my desk and write. I would have a little Bible and I would write scriptures out of my Bible. But anything that I wanted to say to them, I would just press the day before, like when I got home from work, I would press it up off my Cricut and press it on my heat press, and then I'll come to work and say whatever I have to say. So they
Sorry about that.
Huh? What'd you say?
No, Offset got her hair straightened. It's already turned back into curls. I don't even know why they wasted my money.
It's okay. Just roll it up. Just roll it up, and then when she get up in the morning, just put a little heat from the blow dryer on it and a brush, and it'll straighten back out for a minute. You're just gonna have to keep doing that because her curl pattern is strong. Yeah. Just to satisfy her little self, because I know how it be.
Yeah, she wants straight hair.
Yeah, but anyway, so I almost jumped off the building, and I went to my instructor and I told my fashion merchandising instructor that I told her and my computer teacher, because I was almost at the end where I was gonna get ready to graduate again, but because that stuff was happening, I couldn't deal with it. And so I told my instructor, matter of fact, next week I'm going up to the school to go and talk to my instructors to see what the plan is about me graduating and everything.
So where are you at? So you already got your degree.
I have my certificate. Now the funny part about this is I still live on a property where my owners, the same owners that my old place was, I still live on their property, not in the same place, but where God moved me, it's right where there are literally, I can walk out my door and go across the street or around the corner to the corner, and there are manufacturing companies, everything that I need. I'm closer to downtown, and I can literally walk to my school. One of my colleges, because the other colleges I can drive there. That's about 15 minutes away. But I'm literally in the heart of everything that I need to be in the heart. Like the heat press place right down the street from me, you know. So I'm tucked away where nobody knows where I am. Nobody has my number and I'm safe. But Westbrook is still out there, Tarico's still out there, and I'm starting to get weird stuff happening now. And like this, I went to the dispensary the other day and this car was following me. I lost it for a second, then I looked up and then it was right behind me. So I pulled over and then it started doing donuts right by my car to like hit my truck. So I was getting ready to go into the dispensary and then I was like, F that, I'm not running from nobody. So I turned back around and it was like a face off. And then they turned around and went, they don't know the areas. Apparently it had to be Tarico or Westbrook because I know my old neighborhood. They didn't know it was a dead end. So they tried to go, and try to hit a corner and couldn't. So they turned back around and tried to act like they was going to somebody else's house. And when I went to the dispensary, I was like, you see that? Because they got cameras all around the block. And the security guard was like, yeah. The next day or so, there's a shoe print. Somebody kicked my truck. And that's the work of Tarico. Because when we was together, when he was asking me how much money I had to go towards the car, and he kept dragging his feet, and I got the rental, he ended up denting the rental and like putting like shavings from like a blunt or whatever on the back seat. And I was telling him like when he was in that vehicle, like you can't smoke in the vehicle, you know what I'm saying, because of the policies and stuff like that and certain things and all that. So yeah. Straight shoe print on my fucking truck. Sorry for cussing.
That's messed up.
It ain't dented or nothing, but you can tell that somebody kicked it.
So
my truck is a 2024.
Oh, okay.
Honda Ridgeline. I had a 2016 Honda Ridgeline, and then God bless me where I upgraded and I gave the other Ridgeline to my other son.
So can you cam up real quick? I wanted to like see if get your final like how would you say what would you say? Okay, we talked about the trauma. We talked about where you are now. Let's talk about the triumph. Where are you headed? What's your 5-year plan?
Well, I'm gonna be coming to visit you, God willing, and I want to go and take some trips to visit some other people. I have some people in Trinidad and Tobago that have been very supportive of me through all of this, and because I have designed and created throughout the years, there's a lot of people that I've inspired. So now they want to pour back into me. So I plan on going to visit those people. Also, my goal, God willing, is to get back to Jamaica at the end of this year. My son wants to send me sooner, but I got work to do. We got work to do. And I plan on writing a book with your help. And Jackie, I've already talked to Jackie about taking some steps. So the next step also is to get my mother her interview. So I would love for you to interview my mother.
Definitely.
And my mother is very excited. And I don't know if you guys remember, I was saying some things when I was 2 and my dad was calling me boo and he was saying the police was going to take him. Well, I talked to my mother the other day and she ironically brought that exact story up. And I was not 2, I was 1.
Wow.
So I want this to be a learning lesson for a lot of people that listen to this. Watch what you do and say around your children because they will remember it for the rest of their lives, especially if it's something that will stay scarred into their brains because of whatever situations, good or bad. Good or bad. Making happy memories and them sticking, that's okay. But the bad ones, that will take somebody all the way until the day that they leave this earth. I'm just now starting to unlearn a lot of things and cope with a lot of things. But I like to go and visit peacocks And where Tarico and his kissing cousin is, that's where the peacocks are. That's where they live at. And so even when I found that out, I was like, damn, the devil is over here and God is over here. But I remember going the first time after all the trauma and I got back into the country to go see the peacocks when I got my truck, and I had an anxiety attack, a huge anxiety attack. And my therapist she didn't know how to handle it. And my therapist that I have now, she teaches me how to cope with it. So I tried to go the other day and find the peacocks and I couldn't. But I end up I have pictures of them and I'm gonna go back and see the peacocks. There's a whole neighborhood and community of
I
peacocks.
would love to see you do a peacock dress someday, you know?
Oh, that you did.
No, I'm saying like with the feathers, you know?
You did. Me on that pole with my finger up, it's peacock feathers all around that.
Oh, okay. You know what?
And the print is peacock. Girl, you seen it.
The print was peacock, but I didn't see the feathers. I didn't see that
Yeah,
part.
I took some of the feathers off because, for one, let me tell you, this dress was beautiful, okay? That dress was fine the way it was. And then our instructor, and this, because every time for the graduating class, we have to do a fashion show. So we have to do garments and certain themes. So we had to do, it was avant-garde. That was my avant-garde outfit. But we had to add chartreuse, I think it was, to it, or some other effing slippery fabric. Y'all should have seen that dress by the time. And it had to be like 30% chartreuse. So we had to put it somewhere in there. And I tried to make it on the side, in the bust line, seam line or whatever. Miss Anderson said no. And she even cussed everybody out. We got cussed out. And my instructor, Mr. Akala, was already upset at us because we was talking too much. And he was like, all right, I'm going to see who garment's going to come out looking like what. Y'all over there yap, yap, yap. And y'all need to be sewing. So that dress was beautiful the way it was. And then I had to add all that chartreuse and all that stuff to it. And it just, I didn't like it. But I had a lot more peacock feathers. Eventually, I took some of the feathers out because, for one, my model's wearing them in different fashion shows. The peacock feathers are getting, bent. Then two, when I had my clients for my stylist gig, they're wearing it. And then when I wore it, and then me packing it, taking it to Jamaica, taking it all over, the States and stuff like that. The little peacock feathers ain't what they was, but it was really full. They had peacock feathers on it. I made a peacock headdress. And I had like something else peacock. So it had all the feathers. I even went and picked up real peacock feathers. I ordered peacock feathers. My classmate gave me peacock feathers. So it was peacock feathered out. My goal was, what I wanted was to have a train, but you don't have that time like that. So I had to minimize it. But you definitely seen a peacock design with real peacock feathers. So right now, I'm focusing on my YouTube channels, Love Me More Designs, Love Me More Foundation, Love Me More Life. Also focusing on Lekecia Garland, that YouTube channel. Just, really pouring into myself, loving myself more. I've been getting my makeup done because, let me show you. Let me show you my driver's license before and after the relationship with Tarico. How my face looked. Genesis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. This is the before Tarico. This is after Tarico.
Oh my God. You look sad.
I took this just a couple of months ago. Oh, let me not show all my business. But I took this just a couple of months ago. So I went from that to this.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm at continuing to stay in my healing, getting things together so that I can purchase my first home, because I'm in a 1-bedroom now. I'm happier than what I've ever been, but I need space as a designer. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to do. And so I need to move, you know. And I was at my apartment for a long time. And a lot of things was happening and people kept telling me to move, but nobody was giving me help to move and all of that stuff. And even my cousin, when I drove to him 8 hours away, and he was like, cousin, just move. And I was like, with what money? Like, my sisters, they've inherited land. My sisters have inherited property and stuff like that, you know? I have not. I'm the black sheep. I gotta get it like I get it. That's why I told Enoch, like, you know, all this stuff is happening. I want you to help me get this house. And he wanted me to give him an itemized list and all that stuff. And no, I'm not doing all that. First of all, I honestly, by law, could have got some of that money because we were common law married. But I walked away from it because I knew God was gonna bless me, like He always does. Like, we prayed and created those millions. You want to go chase behind some cokehead that's way out of your league? He is such a square. The most Enoch will do is drink. Enoch don't smoke cigarette. I mean, he'll smoke a cigarette, but like, he don't smoke marijuana. He definitely don't take no hard drugs.
Right.
So, but for him to be following behind that girl and finding out that she was a cokehead, that he left her alone, and then he ended up finding his wife. But I believe he was just so arrogant and prideful that he manifested that woman that looks just like me. And her family from the South too. I want to do some digging because I guarantee you we related.
Right.
And I told you that I'm supposed to have a twin somewhere. There's supposed to be 2 of me.
Wow.
So she might be my twin if I do enough digging. Because
Right.
how that girl looked just like me. That girl snatched my whole face.
Sure did.
My ex-husband called her a man. I'm like, leave that girl alone. She just got more masculine features, but she's a beautiful girl. Calling her, saying that she's ugly would be saying that I'm ugly, and I am not ugly. She's beautiful.
You aren't. And investing out the blue said your skin is popping. So
thank you, Blue. I had told him thank you when he had said that. But yeah, man. Yeah, no. So I'm single, and I'm single by choice. I was going to marry a man in Jamaica when I went out there this last time, because when I went in 2018, 19, I went to specifically to go find a house and to go to Bears Hammond. And this is when, what is his name? Buju Banton had got out of jail. Because when me and my younger son was leaving Jamaica, Buju Banton was finna get released. So the goal and the plan was to come right back to Jamaica. But I like to grind when I'm here and then go to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to have a lot of a nice little amount of money. Plus, I have a friend out there, and she allows me to raise her daughter with her. So I like to make sure that we have money and stuff, you know? And so I didn't go. So I definitely, my son and his 6th grade teacher, we were all supposed to go out there to the concert and look for a house because we were all going to buy a house together. And so they pulled out. I still went. I ended up finding the house right across the street from the house I was doing Airbnb. And I met a Jamaican man, and he was like, check for me when you come back on the island. I was like, all right. So when I got back on the island, his name was Willie. I checked for him. And even on the way when we were they picked me up from the airport, the lady at the house and her boyfriend, she was like, I said, how's Willie doing? She was like, fine. She said, Willie needs a wife. And I was like, really? And I was like, oh, okay. So there was an older Jamaican man. I forgot what his name was, but he was trying to check for me. And then her boyfriend's brother was trying to check for me. But I was trying to see what was going on with Willie, because Willie was sitting on 2 football fields worth of land. Plus, the house that I was getting ready to buy was 2 acres plus a land. So I wanted to see what Willie was talking about. I didn't know what these other men was doing with their lives. I knew Mr. Willie climbed that his coconut tree on his land to give me some fresh coconut when I met him. So I wanted to see what he was talking about. So he came on our property, brought me fresh fruit, and that went on for 4 months. And then I was like, Willie, I think we should get married. And he was like, okay. And then we made plans, and we were going to get married on Enoch's birthday, actually, because Willie's birthday is, Willie's birthday and Enoch's birthday is the same day. So we were going to get married on Willie's birthday, but it's still Enoch's birthday. And so, yeah, but Willie wanted to be controlling, and Willie wanted to pressure me from Poom Poom, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
Listen, you know what I think I want to do? I want to bring you to Detroit. I want to introduce you to my friend Ziam.
Because I really want to get that ball rolling.
This is my friend Ziam.
In the middle?
Yep.
Okay.
He's a fashion designer as well.
Yes.
He has a show called Liquid Silver.
Okay.
And we believe that y'all probably got the same spirit animal. Like, so
yeah.
That's Ziam. Like, Ziam, he like.
Oh, yeah. I love a good designer. I love anyone. And like, even when I went to the crystal store, I met people that are in industry and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I love it.
Right, come on now. I believe y'all can come together and make.
Well, hook it up, Genesis, because I'm clear to take flights now. Meaning,
and I love like the one thing I love about fashion design. The people that do design, like, look at how like this is one of his shows.
Yeah.
And this is he when he comes out.
So eccentric, you know. I love a good designer. I love a good creative. Any creative. I love a good creative, baby. Get them juices flowing.
He look like he took like a bed thing. I don't know. He's very eccentric in his design. You know.
I went to a fabric sale, right? People looking at me crazy. They're like, do you work with furniture? I said, no. I was getting all the upholstery fabric because I was turning that in ball gowns. They was like, what are you going to use? I said, it's turning into a gown, evening gowns. And that's what I did. I don't think it's conventional. I think of things as unconventional.
Yeah. So I think combining y'all together, I think y'all can make a good team. You know, just even like putting together a fashion show, it might spark something. Being around another designer like that.
But that's what I said. Like that would be perfect, and then we can have a collective out there. Like I said.
Yeah. So you know, we're hitting on the 4th hour. It's 3:42.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. I want to inspire people. My business name is Love Me More Designs. It's about loving yourself. God gave me that. I was asking him, what should I name my company? And he said, Love Me More Designs, because I am love. And you're going to get this love from me. And you're going to fill up on this love so tough that you're going to overflow, and you're going to give love to other people. And then they're going to give love to other people. And it's going to be a movement. And that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. This is all the stuff lately that I've done. I've made music. Like I said, if you go into my videos, go to my video right quick. Videos. So if you see 2.0 me, Silly Rabbit is good too, but 2.0 me, track two. This is about Enoch and his wife.
He thought he leveled up, got a clone from the shelf, tried to replace real gold with aluminum filth, paraded knock off through the streets. Truth he can't see, talking about upgraded, you just got 2.0 me. Carbon copy think you're sitting on platinum, but I'm the OG cast iron bedrock and flexing with bootleg couldn't handle my essence. You swapped diamonds for glass, missed the queen in her presence. On me, but she ain't got the soul to put on me. Just a mannequin in a role. On me, trying to fill the void. To put on me, but she's still a decoy. Said he caught an upgrade, said she got flair. Guess he forgot the bar wasn't something to share. Photoshop version got no substance of grit. Looking in mirrors, but reflections counterfeit. I ain't sweating it. Now I ride solo, no double take, just pure flow and mojo. He can play games, rock his faux fantasy, while I stay original, no fake symmetry. Plan tried to erase, now stuck with a sketch facsimile face. Narratives twisted, but reality's clear. I stay unforgettable, his loss severe.
So that's what I've been doing, is creating music to get my feelings out. It's very therapeutic. I've been creating more content. As you can see, that's go up. That's my older son and my granddaughter.
Oh, cute.
That's Electra. And that's James. And that is, click on Mommy's birthday. My family, me, my mom, the grandchild.
They got a song. Hold on, let me take the song.
No, it's just like it's no words to it. It's just like
it still might be copyright though.
Okay. The date. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Trying to stay consistent. I feel like I was deterred from being my best self from the church that I was going to. The first lady, basically her sister-in-law and her brother-in-law brought me into the church to break up her soon-to-be nuptials with her husband, which is was my pastor. And yeah, so I was basically his spiritual whore.
But I love the design. I love it so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I also have been buying storage lockers to flip. So that I was don't play none of that because that just definitely has music, but that was one of the things that came out of the locker. And so I sold it. Those were marijuana lights to grow marijuana. I scrapped those, but that heat press, I sold that off. I should have kept it, but when you need money, you flipping stuff. So, and then this is just stuff. I started this YouTube channel because I have a thyroid condition and Graves' disease. My brain works differently. So my classmates used to be able to film and record, and my instructor, the little hat, used to get upset at me when I did it. So I started my YouTube channel just so that I can record the information and hurry up and upload it to YouTube so I can go back and watch it and do what I needed to do to stay up with class, because she did not want me to win. It ended up, remember I told you they said that I was going to be expelled? Well, right before then, because I was recording, and I had a classmate, and he worked for the Hundreds, that clothing store, the clothing line Hundreds. And he used to be talking mad mess to her. And one day he was on Twitter, and he was like, I'm about to ask Twitter if I should stay or lead a class. And he was like, matter of fact, I'm finna ask Ashton Kutcher. And I guess he tweeted and added Ashton Kutcher, so she got an attitude. So the next time I started recording in shoe class, she was like, oh my God, is this going to be on YouTube, Lekecia? I said, it may or may not, but this is for my own personal thing. You know how my brain works. She left us in a class, stopped class, and went and told Miss Anderson. She came back and she said, for today, you can record, but every other time after this, you have to get permission from your classmates, your peers, and me, the instructor, or whatever instructor. And they actually put that in the syllabus. And it's still in the syllabus to this day. Matter of fact, I'm going to get a syllabus when I go next week and show you. I'm going to text it to you just so you can see. It was not in the syllabus before then. But you know what I did on that day that we had that fashion show? And they asked anybody, do they want to stand up and say anything for the graduating class? Who stood up? I stood up. And I thanked her, and I thanked every teacher that gave me problems. And I told them, one day I'll be in France. I'll be in Italy making shoes. I've already researched shoe schools and everything like that, as well as other fashion institutions that I may want to go to, and gymology schools as well. So all of that the ball has been rolling and all of that. But in meantime, God been blessing me and doing his big one, like the Super Bowl and the Grammys, baby, blowing all their brains away.
I think this is this right here is a good song to end on.
Okay. And this is another one of my songs.
Yeah. Shattered glass mirror, ain't no reflection, clearer, heart scarred up, but the spirit got no terror. Footsteps from the past trying to creep, not sinister. Soul sharp as daggers, ain't no sinister minister. I'm no victim, I'm a survivor. Turn pain into power, now I'm living high fiber. Chains no longer bind, rising much higher. Feel the flame inside, heart burning like fire. Whispers in the dark, they tryna steal my light, but I shine through the shadows, queen in the night. Blueprint from pain, now a map for the might. Got them haters shook, ain't no willing to fight. Tears used to flood, now they fueling this river. Strength in my veins, can't nobody deliver. Battles on my back, but you know I'm a giver. Hope keeps me afloat, I'm the ultimate striver. Bruises made, but the story stays bold. Every line a testament, every struggle told. Print laced with grace, see the power unfold. No more whispers, my anthem's raw control. I'm no victim, I'm a survivor. Turn pain into power, now we're living high fiber. Change no longer blind, rising much higher. Feel the
y'all rising harder than the people that I know, right? I love all of you. Every single one of you guys
but I shine through the shadows, queen in
the
the
replay gang, the gang, Trigger Love gang,
ain't no willing to
Genesis, Alchemizing Your Innocence gang, the God gang, everybody,
battles on my back, but you know I'm a giver. Hope keeps me afloat, I'm the ultimate striver.
Love you all, God bless you all. Keep on spreading the word, keep on uplifting each other, no more whispers, my anthems yourselves, okay? You can do this. We are stronger than what we think. We are survivors. We are not victims, okay? You got this. You are stronger than anything that comes up against you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper ever. Ever. Talk that talk, walk that walk, and stand on your business and watch God work for you. I love you and I appreciate you guys.
Shay, thank you so much.
I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror. Unapologetically love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. I'm 100 proof, and I love who I see because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. A star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible. I'm incredible, and no one can stop me. Can stop me now. I'm invincible. On mission. I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying
transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life.